creep like ice. Oh, now I be don't bite me. Kill gone out, ignite my horns aglow. Then a vet rubber bullet through your button hole. You're making me uncomfortable. Slumber, down my cavalry. Stand them boys, you down to me. That's right, make the rest is atrophy. Accordingly, I got a quote. High new smoke rings, no hot rollers. Brought your forecast and a shovel. Bubbles buried in this jungle. Bubbles buried in this jungle. Bubbles buried in this jungle. Polar jungle, frozen buttons. All my sculptures look so pleasant. Those what I get, yo, that's your boss. Hurricane turn green, cause I never lost. Fuck everything over Octagon. Left pen do my index push pause. No, I can't talk, I'm smearing me. Don't have shit locked, I hear the proof. Ready for me, never amusing me. Forgive I have a little bitch, get used to me. Forgive I have a little bitch, get used to me. Forgive I have a little bitch, get used to me.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from very rainy, very dark, very gloomy England, lads. That's right, it's London. I'm in London. Once again, I'm in London again. Hello there, governor. I'm Hassan Piker, and this is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from, unfortunately, very rainy and very shitty weathered London in England. I'm alive, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. It is 12:45 p.m. in sunny, I assume, Los Angeles, California. It is in the midst of a tsunami warning in the aftermath of a California earthquake. I, on the other hand, am far, far away on the other side of the pond in Londonistan. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, we're back. We're live, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic one because it's a beautiful day regardless. And this is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the life of HasanAbi Piker. Hold on, let me try to fix the camera real quick. A little bit better? I can't really tell. Anyway, folks. I can't believe you drove into Southeast traffic. Trains are here for a reason from Oxford. Yeah, I know. Well, I was with the whole family. We thought that it was going to be more expeditious. Anyway, personal news wise, this is part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of HasanAbi Piker. Now, as you guys know, yesterday I went to Cambridge University, which was an incredible experience. A proper gentleman. Got to see the best and brightest that London had to offer. The best and brightest of Cambridge. And it was a great experience overall. As you guys know, I haven't really gone through the footage or anything. My hair is crazy right now. I know, for the record. I know. Before you guys say, hey, dude, you need a haircut, trust me, I fucking know. We'll look through some of the, Cambridge University memes and stuff like that. The Oxford speech was today. It was actually better than Cambridge. I will straight up admit that Oxford was very serious, packed house. The crowd was elated. They were ecstatic. No hecklers. The questions were mostly policy focused, which was good. And I had a fantastic time. And honestly, Cambridge was a fun time too. I mean, it's good to have a little bit of controversy, The Oxford debate won't be up until I don't know when they're going to post it, but it's not going to be up yet. The Oxford one was also the same exact format as Cambridge Union, but basically I've spent most of my time running around, and yes, the Oxford one you'll be able to watch when it comes out, but most of my time has been traveling between London and Cambridge, and then Cambridge back to London, London to Cambridge, Cambridge to London, and the same goes for Oxford. I woke up, I went to bed as soon as I got home after that one kebab. I went to bed, woke up early in the morning, and pretty much nothing else happened. Wait, hold on. I went to Oxford today, and it was fun. The House says Israel's apartheid is out, and man, it's insane. Israeli Hosbers really can't let a Palestinian speak without interrupting. Yeah. You've had a full English brekkie yet, lad? No. I did not. I have not had an English brekkie. I don't have breakfast, as you guys know. Friend of the show became a Progressive Caucus head, by the way. This is good. Just saying, making big money moves. Looking extra Brit, babes. Right? The hair makes me look extra British now. Yeah, March knew the fucked vibes of the blonde kid, the XQC one that was apparently rolling his eyes when I was talking about Israel doing a genocide. I thought it was pretty funny and pretty on point for many of my naysayers who actually were too cowardly to target me on the virtue of like defending Israel. So they did the classic thing that Hasbara's do, and they tried to tackle the issue on some nonsensical bullshit. But overall, they were pretty hysterical, and I think that's funny. It's good to have that. It's good to have that kind of back and forth so that people have a better understanding of how this shit works, like how gray names look like in the real world. Will you be making a quick stop at Toby's and load up that plate? Yes, I revved up the Bugatti. I revved it up. Excuse Cambridge. So yeah, other than that, I mean, we'll get to it in a little bit. We couldn't hear a lot of the questions. Oh, well, you didn't really miss out on much. Oxford Wrapped, doing a recap of my debate-a-thon. It is extremely nice to have back-to-back examples of you addressing each of these attacks against you while looking chill and professional. Yeah, we had a Twitch article. We had a Bloomberg Twitch article and a CNN Twitch article, which I'll be covering as well. How hard was it to not bust out? How hard was it not to bust out the British accent? Hard. Anyway, doing a recap of my debate-a-thon. Amnesty says Israel is doing a genocide, which is huge news. Healthcare CEO gets killed. Americans show they really want healthcare. And then what else was I gonna say? CNN plus Bloomberg articles, CA earthquake, and more. Yeah, there's a French government no confidence vote. So much happened in like the time frame when I couldn't actually be on a desktop. So much happened, you know. Which vibe did you like more? I won't lie, I think Cambridge was a lot of fun, but I think the debate lords kind of fucked it up vibes wise, because I think Oxford came out on top. Like, I'll admit, it was more serious. It was a more serious format, and more importantly, there wasn't like it wasn't even, and they were debatey too. It's not like they weren't debatey, but there's a difference between someone who's like genuinely there's a difference between someone who is genuinely curious and someone who is genuinely curious. Did you use the same speech? No, dude, that's the crazy part. I wrote a new one. I wrote a whole ass new one. That one was more focused on anti-Semitism as well, and how anti-Zionism being conflated with anti-Semitism is dangerous for Jewish people in the Western world. But yeah, here, let's blast off. I'm not going to read the speech to you guys because I want you to watch it for the first time when the Oxford video comes out. We'll do a whole react to it and shit. Jewish Insider has a hit piece on you? Yeah, why the fuck would I look at that, dude? It's Jewish Insider. Are you kidding me? Like, those outlets are all fucking dish rags, dude. They're like, you know, New York Post adjacent. I have to admit that I wouldn't have handled that debate perv kid the same way. He tagged along for hours and it was uncomfortable. I mean, I don't have a problem talking to people like that, especially because it's content too. Did I think the redhead kid was earnest? I don't know. He did say he hates Destiny, so I don't know if he was just saying that to just make it seem as though, you know, that these were genuinely held convictions or whatever. But you know, maybe he just loves debate. He didn't hang out for the drinks after, which I thought was kind of sad. Like, I was down to continue talking to him. Ron Weasley, 100% of Slytherin. Yeah, I think he just loves debating. Like, he really, really loves debating. I think he loves debates. He came with you to the bar, but he left because I think he felt the vibe. I mean, he's the next Oxford Union. No, he's the next Cambridge Union president. I think his impressions of you are from clips. Yeah, that's why. Listen, that's the thing. I'm not going to, even in public, even if I suspect someone is being bad faith, I'm not going to immediately assume that they are being bad faith. Yeah, the current president was dope. But like, when I told him that the person wasn't a Houthi, he said, well, there's a lot of debate around it. Well, it's like, okay, there can be a lot of debate around, you know, wrong things. That doesn't change the reality that they're fucking wrong. But as a Cambridge PhD student, Peter Thiel's been flooding the conservative space on campus with money for years. Yeah. Is the camera okay after falling on the table? Yeah, I mean, it seems fine. But Nick Glazing Hasan, what is he?
Hasan is him. He's been him. He has 80,000 subs for a reason. The dude is an absolute machine. I've never seen like anyone who's more regimented. He wakes up, he works out, he does everything he needs to do, posts Instagram, streams 8-10 hours a day, still takes care of his dog. His content's amazing. I watch him all the time. You know, he's a great guy off stream, and I've never seen anyone with more emotion than him in real life. We walk around in public, girls flock to him. They take pictures of him hiding behind cameras.
God damn.
He's just absolutely insane, and his content's great. And I think he's probably the most watched streamer that I have here.
God damn, Glaze. I mean, I need it though. I need those W's, dude. But yeah, I did see this. Get professored. I think he got a little bit too emotional. That's why I think maybe he's not. Maybe he's like really into the spirit of debate, but also maybe he was being genuine. Because I feel like he was like yelling a little bit at times. And I didn't want to like disrupt him or match his energy like that. But maybe he was a little nervous. I don't know. But yeah, where's that turtleneck from? It's sick. Lemaire. Your lightning keeps getting brighter and darker. Not sure if it's due to your screen reflection or seeing, just so you know. Yeah, I know. It's because March was supposed to fix the camera and also put me in the other room, and he didn't do either, but it's fine. He already came for one fucking day for the Cambridge event. He was supposed to live stream the Oxford one too. And I really wish we could have live streamed the Oxford one, because it was really, the vibe shift was wild. Oxford was a movie for real. Like when we had to run out of the venue while it was raining, and I had an I show speed moment where they almost fucking overtook the car. Like there was like a massive crowd of people that were just like swarming the car, trying to get some photos before I leave. It was crazy. Did they record it? Yes, of course. The reason why we weren't allowed to stream it is because they recorded it, and that it's going to be uploaded. It's going to be published on the Oxford Union website, or Oxford Union YouTube page. You have a video of that exact moment? Wait, really? Yo, post it on like Twitter or some shit. I want people to see it. It's crazy. Oh no, so no pub kebab at Oxford if you were swarmed? No, I couldn't hang out with a bunch of people at Oxford in the same way after Cambridge, because I had to come here. I had to come back to London to stream. But yeah, she was crazy. Pupil maxing? Oh, let's fill you in on Neo-Confucianism. That's funny. Cash Nasty reacts to your b-ball performance? No, I thought I watched it already. He said you got destroyed by an economist. The bar segment, a lot of people seemingly like the bar segment, where I hung out with all the union kids and we drank a little bit. But overall, great trip. I think people really liked it. People really appreciated it. And, you know, the Cambridge stuff was really cool. The fact that we got to live stream it, like, it was awesome. And yeah, new speech on Oxford as well. So when that comes out, I hope people, enjoy it. Were you drinking at Spoons? No, I wasn't drinking at fucking Spoons, lad. All right, so we got a lot of news to cover. Did Themasius send a playlist? Here it is. We're alive. What? Destiny fans are making fun of you, saying you're too old to hang out with college kids while their streamer literally tries to have sex with them. What the fuck? Yeah, what? Yeah, no, I don't think it's weird for me to literally fucking take the students out for kebab and beer for all the work that they put in a completely normal setting. I think that they need to focus on their own streamer who tries to fuck an 18-year-old every other week. Weirdo losers, dude. Yeah. Like they wanted to go out to a pub and get kebab, so I did. There's nothing weird about it. Why the fuck are people so goddamn weird? Yeah. You don't understand. Unless you're like literally having sex with neo-Nazis, you're not fucking doing right. You're doing right by the cause. It's called anti-fascism. Yeah. The normal thing to do in that situation is actually to, weirdly slide in their fucking DMs and make them into my orbiters, and then send them my fucking resume of sex and then have it inevitably leak all over the timeline. That's the cool thing to do, I think. Fucking weirdos. Anyway, we got a lot to cover. We have a tsunami warning. 7.0 magnitude hits off California's northern coast, and a tsunami warning had happened, but it got canceled. We got the amnesty report as well. We're going to be talking about that as well. CIA Johnny turns into NATO Johnny. What do you mean? CIA Johnny is NATO Johnny. Johnny's always been NATO. That's why we say he's CIA. You got a CNN business article? Yeah, there was a Bloomberg article that came out yesterday, and then a CNN article that basically copied and pasted the Bloomberg article, which is kind of funny because I heard about it from CNN journalists, and they were like, hey, I don't know if they reached out to you for this article I saw, but if you want, we can, if you have anything that you want to add to it, if you want like a response. And I was like, nah, I'm good. What is this? Hassan collab with China when she's in a bikini. Maybe don't open a stream. Wait, what?
Fuck, shut the fuck up. Get on your knees and grease my face.
What the fuck is this? I don't even know what just happened. What? Why would she want to collab with me? Has she expressed interest? What is this? What the fuck is going on? Fucking stupid ass. What? Windows is so dumb. Anyway. But yeah. Yeah, March clocked him. There's a blonde dude on the right in the far back, and I'm 1000% sure he's going to be a debate lord. Hope they don't call on him, but also curious if I clocked him correctly. Yeah, that one was the you think Crimea belongs to Turkey kid. What is this? You lost the... Apparently Grindr has a yearly wrap, and I was voted Gamer of the Year. Shout out to all the gays. Wait, I wasn't even up in this contest? What? I didn't get a single Grindr trophy? Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, yo, get the fuck out of here. I'm robbed, dude. I've been robbed. All right, I'm done. No more meat pigs, dude. No more fucking meat pigs, bitch. It's over. It's over. It's Jover. It's Jover. It's Jover. It's fucking Jover. 33-year-olds aren't sex symbols, old man. That's what you think, bitch. Excuse me. Anyway. Related to the CEO story. Oh, yeah, no, I know. There's the dude who thought he tracked it. I know all of it. Okay? I'm aware of all of it. Trust. And I know that, like, I know everything. Was worried that you pushed your speech writing to the last minute, but you did really well at Cambridge. You're surprisingly good at reading in the room and melding in with academics. Keep up the good work. Yeah. Anyway, the fucking healthcare story is pretty crazy, especially because of like the way people have reacted to it. Oh, what the fuck? This is broken, dude. My fucking Windows is bricked. How do I fix this, chat? What do I have to do to fix this? It's not even collapsing. Classic. Install Linux. I hate you guys, okay? I fucking hate you guys. Install Linux. And the camera is cooked. God damn it. Everything is cooked. What is happening? Why does it keep going white? Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so annoyed. No, what can I do right now? What is it, like refresh or something? What do you do in taskbar settings? I'm not leaning on the keyboard. Task manager, restart Windows UI service. That's how you do it, right? And it doesn't turn it off, right? Restart Windows Explorer. On task manager? What the fuck was it? Where is it? I don't know where to Windows. Is it on task manager? Control Shift R. I'm trans and in IT restart, right click Windows Explorer and restart. It won't let me restart fucking Windows Explorer, man. I don't know how to do that. If it's alphabetical, it's at the bottom. It's not showing up. It's not even showing up. Windows processes. Type Explorer and Task Manager search. It's not. It's just, it went to Microsoft Edge. And then restart Windows Explorer. Okay, I did it. Hopefully. Yeah, that didn't do shit. Not gonna lie. Or maybe it did. Let's see. Nope. Still doing it. That is hella annoying. God, I fucking hate Windows so much. Oh my God, I did it. I restarted File Explorer and it still didn't fix this problem. When I click on a window on my second screen, it just, God, I fucking hate Windows so much. I hate it. Yeah, it didn't work. Like, what is this? What is happening here? Like, why is this happening? This should not be happening ever. Okay, this is a fucking new laptop, right? I did the right click Windows and F and refresh. God, everything sucks. Everything sucks. And the only option that people have are, taking matters in their own hands. What the fuck? What the fuck? Everything fucking sucks. Yes, I have 2 monitors, chat. I do. Windows 11 is so dog shit. Anyway, let's just start quickly with the fucking earthquake before this makes me quake my earth.
Welcome back, everyone. We continue to follow this breaking news out of California.
Switch to Mac, bro. I'm gonna fucking switch you out of this chat and out of existence. Okay? Listen to me. Do you want me to fucking do coverage today? Because if you do, then shut the fuck up. You can't stream on Mac anyway. It's hard.
Some good news, though. A tsunami warning has been canceled following that 7.0 magnitude earthquake off of the state's northern coast. That earthquake struck 235 miles northwest.
I don't want to disable auto maximize. I want auto maximize to work. I don't want to. I want the windows to snap, but they're not snapping in the way that they're supposed to be.
San Francisco, that was about 60 miles from Ferndale. Large waves.
Gen Z want to cancel woke? Gen Z want to cancel fucking tsunamis? What's happening?
Are still being reported in the area, and officials have ordered evacuations in some areas. They're urging people, of course, to get to higher land and to avoid the coastline, even though that tsunami warning has at this point now been canceled. CBS News correspondent Carter Evans joins us from Los Angeles. Carter, even for California, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake, that's a big one. And when we're talking just 60 miles off of California's coast, that's pretty close. Talk to us, give us some context for understanding.
Conditions were right. When I heard about a 7.0 magnitude, less than 60 miles off the coast, I immediately thought tsunami. And you've got a little time to prepare because the waves are going to take a little while to get to shore, generally traveling around 30 to 40 miles per hour through the ocean. That's how they can essentially time when they think the waves are going to hit. And that is ultimately probably how they were able to cancel this warning, too. The time when they expected the waves to hit based on when the earthquake struck passed and the tsunami did not materialize. And so that is certainly good news. But you're right, this was a big one.
So I don't get it. Like, they were like, oh, there's supposed to be a tsunami, and then it just like didn't happen. How the fuck? I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad, dude. I hate this shit. Okay, I fixed it. Okay, I think I fixed it.
Conditions were right for it, just off the coast.
Fuck.
And think about the Bay Area, too. So many low-lying areas there. So it's not just along the coast that was concerned. It's along all those waterways on the inland as well, all those homes in Marin County that are down close to the water. Those are big, big concerns. So this was a massive effort to get people away from the water's edge, away from the ocean, as fast as possible.
Yes, and Carter, it was interesting watching our colleagues over at KPIX as they were following the people who were still out on the beaches and seeing those helicopter shots, as you can see, it's right there, of people who were still out there because this happened so quickly. It was so close to land. If there was, in fact, a tsunami, we're talking about minutes, not hours. I understand that those evacuation efforts, they were undertaken. Do you know, now that the tsunami warning has been canceled, are officials telling people that they can go back in? Are we just in sort of a period of confusion at this point? What's the best option in order to stay safe?
Probably going to be a lot of confusion right now. But since since NOAA basically has canceled this tsunami warning, I think it is safe for people to go back. But, like you, I saw the video from the helicopter there, surfers in the water, and I thought, do they even know there is a tsunami warning right now? There's no communication with them out there. They may not even have any idea. And then you do get some looky-loos that will go down to the beach and try and see if they can see it. Now, one of the clear signs that a tsunami is about to occur is often the water recedes. So it would look like an extreme low tide. And a lot of times, if people haven't been warned, that's enticing. People want to walk out. They can pick up shells and things like that. It's a strange sight to see. That did not occur, fortunately.
Very, very fortunate.
What the fuck is going on with this computer, bro?
Given, though, that this was a very large earthquake, aftershocks always happen. We know that there's already been some of them. Can you tell us a little bit about the possibility of additional aftershocks, what has already been experienced there in California?
So we've already seen a handful of aftershocks, not nearly as big as the first one, but there is still possibility of more of them. Now, a large aftershock, 6.0 or bigger, that percentage is pretty low right now. But for the next week or so, that area could experience aftershocks that are definitely measurable and something that people could feel.
Carter Evans out there for us in Los Angeles. Glad that you and everyone in California are safe and that tsunami warning is now over. Thanks, Carter.
Sure.
Urgent, man.
All right, let's get to the top news story of the day, baby. What? The initial reporting of the tsunami was scary because the area that would have been hit was massive. I'm so glad the tsunami didn't materialize. Yeah, this is insane. So are we just cooked next time? Is that what it is? And by we, I mean San Francisco for the most part. Like, this shit could happen potentially. I can't help but feel like God is punishing us with first the likes of Donald Trump and now also with this. Don't bore me, baby girl. Sorry. We've been getting a lot of warning shots in Southern California as of late. All of a sudden, Chicago doesn't seem so bad. Chicago never seemed bad. It's been on the radar for a while, but state governments haven't really done much to prepare. Yeah. The San Andreas fault line is overdue. It would wipe out vast populations from Los Angeles to Seattle. Yeah. It's the Cascadia fault you have to worry about, not San Andreas right now. Dude, I don't know, man. At this point, I'm just like, fuck it. You know? It is what it is, right? I don't know. Shit's not getting any better. Seems like there's only one direction. Do you consider these things when you're getting a home in LA? No. You can't live like that, man. That's just this is my dumbest, most reactionary attitude. But I happen to be a firm and committed believer that if you constantly worry about that shit, you're going to get cooked. If it's constantly top of mind, then, you know, the anxiety will cripple you. That's the same reason why I don't go out with security. You know what I mean? It's the same reason why, like, people are always like, dude, why aren't you more worried about fucking stalkers and Nazis that want to kill you? It's like, what am I going to do, man? If someone is that willing, if someone is that invested, you know, we'll roll the dice. Fuck it, we ball, right? Brian Thompson lived that way, and look at him now. Okay, dude, don't compare me to a fucking demon, dude. Like, you're making it seem like I'm fucking Uday Hussein, okay? Like, that's a little bit different. I feel like that man had a lot of karma. Yeah. Or Shinzo Abe, you know? Like, there's a lot of bad karma. I feel like the worst karma I've committed to is buying a house and shit. Like, what am I like? My biggest issues is I joke too much, and also I fucking bought a house, as you guys saw. That's what my most rabid haters could come out with was, why are you a fucking champagne socialist who bought a house? I hate you. And you bought a car. I hate you. Or I'm not nice enough to the American Communist Party. Like, okay, man, you know? All right. Speaking of karma and people who have done a lot of wrong, but have consistently done it within the within the confines of legality. Let's talk about the story. United Healthcare CEO gets fucking murked by a hitman. Now, of course, I must urge you not to Fed post in this chat, even though, holy shit, everyone. Like, I think this is one of the first instances where I've ever seen so much universal support for something that is so criminal. You know what I mean? Honestly, I don't know. We're living in interesting times. We're living in scary times. We're living in interesting times. Let's take a look at the story.
For the suspect who gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a New York City hotel. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is at the hotel with the latest on the investigation. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning to you, Robin. 24 hours after this assassination.
Okay, what is Fed posting, though? Fed posting is when people just, like, get out of hand and say unhinged shit in the chat that might get them the attention of federal law enforcement. Also, oftentimes, it's federal law enforcement that writes stuff like that in online chats to agitate people so that they can pop them, you know, coerce people. But some crazy stuff happened yesterday in New York City. And honestly, very interesting times that we live in. Let's take a look.
Style killing. The killer is at large, but he left behind a trail of clues here at the scene that may lead police to him and to a possible motive, suggesting anger with the insurance industry. This morning, a frantic manhunt for the man authorities spotted on this survey.
So this dude, big homie over here, okay, Mr. CEO, walking up to his hotel, okay, having a wonderful day. You know, he's like, man, I can't wait to get a fucking child with cancer, no coverage, so their fucking family is saddled with medical debt. You know, just a regular old day for Mr. CEO. He's just like, walking over to my medical conference where I'm going to go, you know, hang out with a bunch of other CEOs, and we're going to talk about how many claims we denied, that sort of shit. I assume that's what's happening in the mind of a healthcare CEO on any given Sunday, right? Like, you got to be constantly thinking like, man, $35 billion in pure profit this year. What a banger. Artificial intelligence to deny claims, 90% of which are actually wrong. What a fantastic invention I engaged in. How the medical innovation, oh my Lord, the amount of coverage that we can just fucking deny because we made up some random AI thing. So sick. Like, that's probably what's going on in his mind, okay? I mean, he's up early. That Sigma grind set. It's 6 a.m., okay? He up early as hell thinking about all the ways in which he's going to ruin the lives of tens of thousands of Americans. Because if you're that rich and that's your job, why the fuck are you up at 6 a.m.? You know what I mean? Like, why are you up 6 a.m.? Turns out this guy, he out grindsetted the grindset CEO. Turns out he's up at 6 a.m. This motherfucker was up at 4 a.m. Okay? There's always a guy out there working harder, working smarter. He was like, oh yeah, you're up at 6 a.m.? Guess what, dude? You're down at 6:30, okay? That's what he said. Walks up to him, bloom, blap, bloom. Now, those weren't the sounds that came out of that gun because, as you can see, this is a very long barrel. Guess what? That's not a barrel. That is a silencer, okay? That's right. Now, the interesting part about that is, no, this was not a fart. It was silent but deadly, but it was not a fart, okay? It was a suppressor on his pistol, and most likely using subsonic rounds as well. That's the speculation on why the bullet, why he had to constantly fucking like rechamber after, what is that what's called? Like when your gun is jamming, basically, which was really crazy because it looked like an open and shut, like, professional case. And the reason why I say that is because he was so cool throughout this entire process. I don't mean cool like, oh my God, he's like swagged out. That's a totally separate conversation. I mean, like, he was cool as a cucumber. Like, he was very calm throughout this process. He was very thorough. Now, people were saying that maybe it was because he wanted to get the casings after every shot, like collected, you know, professional hitman style, Sicario style. Turns out he wanted to leave the casings there, as a matter of fact, because he wrote stuff on the fucking casings. He wrote stuff on the shells, which is wild. Okay. And when I first saw the story and I saw the media coverage over it, I thought it was very funny that people were like, yeah, this healthcare CEO got executed in broad daylight in the middle of in the middle of New York City, and the motive is unknown. And I was like, yeah, no, I think the motive is known. Like, it's one of those guys where I don't think this was a gay lovers quarrel, you know? I don't think this was like, oh, his ex-wife called out a hit on him. Like, it's like, that would be a unique setting. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those situations where it's like, if you heard Vladimir Putin got assassinated, you wouldn't be like, I wonder what the motive is here. You know what I mean? Like, there's many motives in that situation, but, like, you know, you feel me? Like, I doubt someone is doing that over the anger that they feel towards, I don't know, some kind of new tax that Vladimir Putin implemented, right? Yeah, a real Paul Pelosi gay lovers quarrel situation. So, interestingly enough, this happened.
This video shooting and killing Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. Police said it was no
What's crazy is this motherfucker was wearing a quarter zip in this fucking profile picture. Like, it is such, at this point, it's such a meme. Like, these guys, they love their quarter zips, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing, dude? Why? You took a headshot. Well, no pun intended. And you were repping the quarter zip in the headshot, you know? What are we doing here? What's going on? Y'all don't got nothing else? You just got quarter zips?
Every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
The gun appears to have a silencer and jammed. When the shooter cleared it, police say he fired again.
From watching the video, it does seem that he's proficient in the use of firearms, as he was able to clear the malfunctions pretty quickly.
So that's a really interesting predicament, because on the one hand, I don't know enough about guns, at least like suppressors and subsonic rounds, but like, I feel like if he was like a massive pro, I suspect that like some things that he did made me think that he is professional, but some things that he did made me not feel like he's professional. So I feel like when he has a suppressor on, like, shouldn't you be testing that at some point to make sure that you know it doesn't jam? Am I wrong about this? Gun perverts, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel as though, like, is it that inconsistent that even if you have a pistol, even if you have a suppressor, even if you test it out, right? Even if you test it out ahead of time, it still has the capacity to jam. So like that kind of made me feel like maybe this is not a pro, but also the fact that he cleared it and walked slowly and continued, eyes on the prize, that made me think he is a pro. The gun wouldn't cycle because of the subsonic ammo plus the suppressor. The gun isn't jamming. Subsonic rounds don't have enough power to move the slide all the way. Yeah, that's what I assume, but it didn't jam. You have to manually re-rack with subsonic ammo and a suppressor. The one they say delay is the one that blocked the gun, which is wild. It's not the ammo, not the suppressor, but it's odd he didn't test this since some guns will jam with subsonic ammo. Suppressors create more back pressure, so it should make the gun cycle faster. But if he had subsonic rounds, they would be quieter, but maybe not cycle the action. And yes, you would test it, but he may have removed the mainspring so the gun doesn't cycle on purpose because it makes it way quieter. The fact he was proficient in clearing the jam means he was expecting it to jam. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, putting myself in his shoes, right? In a situation, not when I'm like, executing the fucking CEO of a healthcare company that is responsible for denied coverage to tens of thousands of Americans. I'm just saying, like, in a situation where, like, if I'm shooting a gun at all at a range and it fucking jams, I don't have the technical proficiency to deal with it. I'm going to freak the fuck out, right? So the fact that he was able to clear it while continuing to walk made me feel like he knew what the fuck he was doing. So, interesting stuff. Why would it change my opinion? Clearly, the gun is cycling because gas is being released from the top of the gun when it's firing and is experiencing an FTF. The only difference subsonic ammunition would make is what type of failure the gun is experiencing. Appears to be a BNT VP9 magazine-fed manually cycled gun with a... Wait, no. Was it a man? No, it's not. This person just made that up. VP9 is actually on my gun wish list. I didn't realize I had so many fucking gun fuckers in the chat, dude. What's wrong with you? Y'all are some real freaks, you know that? Like, what kind of... I've never even seen a gun like this. What do you mean this is on your wish list? I didn't even know this existed. Shit looks like a gun that a child would assume a gun looks like. Okay? This literally feels like a gun I would draw in like 5th grade before I ever encountered American gun culture. United
I'm starting to see a bunch of comments coming through on mostly my Wellrod videos suggesting that Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, who was...
Dude, gun channels are having a fucking incredible time.
Recently killed in New York City, was in fact killed with a Wellrod or a modern VP9. All of those comments, those theories are in fact pretty conclusively wrong. I've watched that video, the surveillance video myself.
Okay, first of all, I don't want to give anybody pointers, like especially the surveillance state, but how the fuck is CCTV footage in 2024 still so ass? Okay, what are we doing? You can't tell anything in that footage except for how fucking cool the guy was in his demeanor. Okay, you cannot tell if that's a well rod or a rod. You barely can tell it's a gun. Every goddamn CCTV footage still in 2024 is literally Vaseline lens, 1P. Makes no damn sense. Kathy Hochul stopping congestion pricing played a role in the escape. It didn't, but I want him to put in congestion pricing.
And what I'm seeing there is a typical semi-auto pistol with a suppressor that has been set up poorly and has malfunctioned on almost every shot. We see the guy grabbing the slide and yanking it back to clear malfunctions. That may seem like the same sort of motion that's required to cycle a well rod or VP9, but it's not. Having shot a number of well rods and VP9s, it's definitely a different mechanic going on. And looking at that video, the guy is clear.
This guy, okay, bro, how many times have you shot a fucking healthcare CEO, though? You know what I mean? Totally different circumstances, sir. He's like, oh, I shot a lot of well rods. Okay, not in the direction of a CEO. Maybe it's different. Have you thought about that? No, you haven't, okay? All you care about is the gun. It's a totally different, dude, you don't understand. It's a totally different motion in that moment. He knows how guns work, bro. Guys, I'm fucking joking. Can everybody calm down? Put some respect on Forgotten Weapon's name. It's a joke, dude. I'm joking. God damn. Half a chat was making fun of the fucking random debate lords at Cambridge who also do not have the capacity to understand jokes. And now they're doing it themselves. Gun perverts gonna out themselves as assassin because everyone's getting it wrong?
Clearly trying to fix a regular semi-auto pistol. He is not shooting a well rod or a VP9. I'm starting to see a bunch of comments coming through on mostly my well.
Were you serious when you said the casings had writings on them? That's what they're saying. Anyway, United Healthcare orders employees to not talk to the press in the wake of the CEO's murder. What? That's insane. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's saying fucking you can't talk to the... Oh, there's also new oh god, fucking one of the worst parts of being in EU is like every goddamn fucking webpage is like, accept the cookies, mate. Do you accept the cookies, mate? Anyway, let's get back to it. So yeah, United Healthcare CEO is shot. A real doop, doop, doop situation. Okay. The guy just fucking walks away. Now, that is obviously an interesting story in and of itself, but I think one of the more interesting aspects of this story, one of the most interesting aspects of the story isn't even necessarily like the casings that he left on scene that said the words deny, defend, and depose, according to ABC News, which, by the way, is very similar to the title of the book, Delay, Deny, Defend, Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It by J.M. Feynman. Shooter of United Healthcare Chief Executive Brian Thompson wrote Deny, Defend, Depose on the shell casings. The words echo the name of a book about how insurers won't pay claims. It's an earthquake for corporate America. So, do you think he's mad they're reporting the casing words in the wrong order? Probably not worried about that for the time being, but let's continue.
Confirmed male shot in the confines of Midtown North.
Police say it was around 6:45 a.m. Wednesday when the suspect, pictured at a Starbucks before the shooting, gunned down Thompson as he was walking alone into the Hilton for an investors conference. And in new video overnight, the shooter seen here about 20 minutes before the shooting.
They're looking for a male about 5 feet 10 inches in height.
Yo, by the way, like, you know, don't get mad at me. I don't want to be like inappropriate here, but he looks kind of fucking hot, dude. I cannot be the only person who immediately went, wow, clearly this guy has interesting style and also is kind of attractive, which is part of the reason why I thought if they catch him and he gets his message out and he's fucking hot, it's going to be a far more consequential problem. They should let him go. Honestly, I'm not even joking when I say this. They should let him go because if they catch him and they arrest him, and then he gets to talk and says, this is why I did it, it's gonna be a Shinzo Abe situation. Fuck it. It already has become a Shinzo Abe situation. And that's actually the truly interesting part about this story. Now, America, we have gun violence all day, every day. And usually, the gun violence that occurs is some random guy who fucking loses their minds for one reason or another, ends up killing some of the most marginalized people in society. It's either a white supremacist teenager who wants to kill like black and brown people. You go to El Paso, the fucking Walmart in El Paso, shoots like as many brown people as possible, goes to a fucking black neighborhood deliberately in Buffalo, shoots as many black people as possible. Is either stuff like that, or again, someone who's like very clearly mentally ill that goes and like kills classmates, right? That's the norm. It's not the norm. And I said this when Donald Trump was shot. It's not the norm when you got a shooter who's like, you know, I'm actually going to do something consequential. I'm actually going to effectively identify where the vectors of my demise are, and I'm going to target them. That's not normal. And that's precisely the reason why when it's business as usual mass shootings, everybody goes, ugh, thoughts, prayers, whatever, right? But when this happens, they're like, whoa, 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 you can't do that. That's an important guy. That's a rich guy. That's an important guy. That's a guy who has power. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Go kill school children. The fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean you killed a goddamn United Healthcare CEO? Excuse me. Those are your lords and your masters. You don't. What do you mean? No, you're supposed to take your anger out on random Americans, dumbass. The fuck? And it's really interesting. It's really interesting when a peasant rises up against the Lord, you know? Because what I realized is when I see situations like that, maybe it's because I cover so much death and so much destruction that like it doesn't really faze me that much. I mean, I'm always like, that's interesting. It's usually the approach that I have. Now, I didn't realize I wasn't alone. I thought I was alone. I thought there was something wrong with my brain, you know? People took it way further than me. You go on TikTok. I went on TikTok. I saw the news coverage, and I would look at the comments, and literally everyone in the comments was like, oh my God, can you kill more CEOs, please? I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Hello? On fucking Facebook, on your grandpappy's Kalans meet, motherfuckers are out there celebrating. Okay? What is going on? On Facebook, the United Healthcare Facebook account, which is such a funny thing. Like, why the fuck do you have a Facebook account, United Healthcare? Anyway, they did that. They posted about the death of their CEO. And the post got 21,000 smiley face responses. Like laughing, crying. Can you imagine motherfuckers named Deborah and Barbara clicking on the post with like the 18 font and their tongue sticking out like and picking the fucking crying my face off laughing emoji to respond to it 21,000 times? Now is at 44? 50,000? The Deborahs and the Barbaras are the ones who are not supposed to be saying that. Look, this is crazy. Look, United Health Group. We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who work with him. We are working closely with the New York Police Department and ask for your patience and understanding during this difficult time. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him. 41,000 ha-has. Only 2.2 thousand kind of sad crying faces. 42,000 ha-has? No, people are now saying it's 51K now. And it's like yet another instance where I think mainstream media and like all of the reputable outlets, reputable institutions, and everyone that's like covering this is diametrically opposed to the way that the overwhelming majority of the population is approaching the subject matter. Like the media is like thoughts and prayers. This person had a family, which is really interesting to say, and I'll get to that in a moment. Fuck it, I'll say it now. This person had a family. Yeah, you know who else has a family? The fucking cancer patient who got their coverage denied. You know what I mean? Like this person had a family. That's crazy. I know. Okay. So does Bashar al-Assad. So does Vladimir Putin. Okay. Anyway. This person had a family, so did Ted Bundy, you know? But But most people were like this. Most people had this take. I'm sorry, prior authorization is required for thoughts and prayers. 15,000 likes. Sending prior authorization, denied claims, collections, and prayers to his family. 16,000 likes. Was his trip to the ER really emergent? According to his own company, my husband's heart attack wasn't an emergency, and we were out $3,000, full deductible, 5,000 likes. It's crazy what my first thought was, and then I look at the comments and realize I'm not alone in my thoughts. 1,000 likes. I just can't find the care. Maybe if they ask for pre-approval of my care, then after they care, their required deductible, I might be able to supplement some care. I can't even pretend to care. I hope he's looking up at us. So it's like, if you're a CEO in one of these sectors, I'm not going to lie, dog, like quit or, bankrupt the company and then start advocating for full-blown healthcare, full communist healthcare, okay? Because goddamn, it's not me. Look, you're a titan of enterprise, okay? And so am I. I'm a rich guy myself. I would never say anything like that, but it seems like other people are saying it. Not me. Can't catch me slipping. I'm not saying it, but other people certainly are saying it. That's what I saw. I saw this and I thought to myself, damn, people are really upset about their health care. Then I thought to myself, if only there was a guy who wanted Medicare for all. If he was president, that motherfucker would probably be alive right now. I mean, it's true. Literally. Maybe he wouldn't have made like $900 gorillion last year, but he'd still be alive. You know what I'm saying? What's the JFK quote? Those who make peace impossible make violent retribution inevitable. Something along those lines. I think about that a lot. Or was it MLK? Ow, my head. No, that's not. Leftists are evil for wishing for people's deaths. Dog. If you think, and I'm being so for real right now, okay? I'm being so for real with you. You can fucking fantasize about this all day, every day. Like, oh, it's the leftists that are doing it. If you think 51,000 socialists are posting ha-has on fucking Facebook, you might have gotten shot in the head too. There might be a bullet lodged in your fucking brain, okay? Maybe you could be like, oh, TikTok, like they're all fucking little commies or whatever. No, dog, it's your neighbor. And probably your aunt, okay? The people who are excited about this is not just like some random card-carrying commie that you fantasized about. It's your fucking aunt, okay? In between finger blasting herself to old reruns of Steve Harvey, she posted haha on the United Healthcare Facebook post, okay? That's your aunt, dog. Go check in with her. Stop fantasizing about fucking card-carrying socialists that want death upon everybody, okay? Unless you think your aunt is picked up a copy of Mao's Red Book or some shit. She turned down the volume on Andy Griffith to pose the crying, laugh, and react, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna be so real with you. This is like way beyond. This shit is way beyond the normal lefties want blood attitude. I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking joking. If we ran a poll right now, straight up, if we ran a poll in America, if any polling company was brave enough to run a poll right now, anonymous, how many people think the killer should go free? You would be shocked by the results. Okay? You would be shocked straight up. If any polling company has the balls, they should run this fucking poll. The last time I was ever shocked in the United States of America was when they burned that fucking police precinct down, okay, after George Floyd. And then they polled Americans on it, and it was like 80% was like, we know why they did it. That is the last time I've ever been like, damn, things are different. This was a funny ass tweet I saw. My husband hasn't posted anything on the internet in years. He didn't even post the photos of our wedding, and he posted this. I think the hatred that people have for, healthcare CEOs, the hatred people have for CEOs aside, and they hate CEOs, I think, but the hatred that they specifically have for healthcare CEOs, like, dude, oh my God. Oh my Lord. Things are interesting. You can't deny it. It's a shame the only political party interested in capitalizing on the rage Americans feel that this unjust society is the one who wants to direct it at immigrants and trans people. Democrats instead are like, it's disgraceful of you to be mad at our friends for killing you. Yeah, it's true. It's straight up. That was my first interpretation of all the ways in which people analyze this unconscionable act of violence. Chat, let me just say, I want to stress this importance, okay? I do not, what's the word? I don't want to fuck it up. I do not condone the assassination of insurance CEOs, healthcare CEOs. I do not condone it. I condemn it, okay? I condemn. Just want to get it out of the way, you know? Just want to fucking say it off the rip. I don't want anybody clipping anything else and fucking running around. Maybe 6 years later, I'm at a debate stage and someone comes up and is like, at a time when there's a lot of political violence, don't you feel responsible for healthcare insurance executives getting assassinated? You know, I don't want none of that. Okay? Yeah, little bro will put the condemnation in the bag. Okay? I will. Kind of lame. Sorry. But having said that, having gotten my condemnations out of the way, my very serious, my very sincere condemnations out of the way, it is very interesting. It is very interesting. I would never say it, but what I'm seeing other people say, oh my God, okay? Not me. I would never say it. You can't even catch me thinking it. But what I have seen from others is that Medicare for on the ballot, 100% of the votes. Okay, full table sweep. I'm not saying nothing, but it does seem like people are very mad about the healthcare situation in this country. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it, but many people are. You feel me? So let's talk about this. Claim denial rates by insurance companies. Now, United Healthcare happens to be at the tippy top right after Medica there, as you can see. All right. 32%. Now, the numbers, I was talking to my chat today. It's so lame that you and I now have to act like politicians because we are Twitch streamers. Incredible. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to act like politicians. Let's be real. I compared Israel to ISIS very publicly at the Oxford Union, and I got a fucking standing ovation. So I don't think maybe good politicians. So great deliberative body. Think about that, bro. I went to the Oxford Union. Oxford Union has hosted Yasser Arafat, Madeleine Albright, Winston fucking Churchill, and now Hassan Piker, who sat up there on that fucking podium and said, saying Israel represents Judaism is like saying ISIS represents true Islam. That's crazy. What a time to be alive. So, did you pick a bottle of mayonnaise? No, this is Bear Bell's milkshake. I've never had this in America, but this is the, it's pretty good. It's got 24 grams of protein. But yeah, this that leads to tens of thousands of people dying. Okay? Just so you know, all of this leads to tens of thousands of people dying every year. Now, the problem is this kind of death is handled by so many people, so many hands touch it. And not only that, but it's streamlined and it's legal. And perhaps more importantly, it's at the behest of the profit motive. When those three things are combined, most people, even if they feel it in their hearts that it's like no different than fucking murder, they don't necessarily have the same analysis. That's why you don't think of this guy as like a ruthless warlord who's individually, killing children and babies, even though his actions are directly responsible for it. And yes, very famously, Champagne socialist Friedrich Engels, gay lover of Karl Marx, second Engels mentioned in 24 hours is crazy. He called this concept social murder, the unnatural death that occurs due to social, political, or economic oppression. He coined this in the 1845 work, The Condition of the Working Class in England, whereby the class which at present holds social and political control, i.e. the bourgeoisie, places hundreds of proletarians in such a position that they inevitably meet a too early and unnatural death. This was in a different category to murder and manslaughter committed by individuals against one another, as social murder explicitly was committed by the political and social elite against the poorest in society. And social murder is invisible in many ways. It's very visible when it happens to a loved one, but the way that society is designed, especially under capitalism, the system is designed so that you don't really realize who's doing this. Okay? Let's read the full quote. When one individual inflicts bodily injury upon another such that death results, we call that deed manslaughter. When the assailant knew in advance that the injury would be fatal, we call his deed murder. But when society places hundreds of proletarians in such a position that they inevitably meet a too early and unnatural death, one which is quite as much a death by violence as that by the sword or bullet, falling into a chimney. I think they had chimney sweeps back then. Like little kids would fucking die when they were doing chimney sweep shit. That kind of stuff. Or maybe when your healthcare coverage is denied and then you die, or you kill yourself because you can't take on the 60 grand in medical debt, or you choose not to get the proper medical attention because you can't pay for it. That sort of stuff. That's what factors into the social death. But yes, when a worker is in such a position that they inevitably meet a too early and unnatural death, one which is quite as much a death by violence as by sword or a bullet, when it deprives thousands of the necessities of life, places them under the conditions in which they cannot live, forces them through the strong arm of the law to remain in such conditions until that death ensues, which is the inevitable consequence, knows that these thousands of victims must perish and yet permits these conditions to remain, its deed is murder, just as surely as the deed of a single individual, disguised, malicious murder against which none can defend himself, which does not seem what it is, because no man sees the murderer, because the death of the victim seems a natural one, since the offense is more one of omission than of commission, but murder it remains. And that's precisely what this is. This dichotomy exists within state violence as well. State retains a monopoly of violence, and therefore when the state engages in very violent ways, it is not considered violence. But when an individual fights back against the state, then it's violence. That's why when police use tear gas on unsuspecting protesters, it's not considered to be a violent act. That's why newspapers say violence broke out when protesters kicked back the tear gas canisters in the direction of the police. So that's what it is. That's what exactly this is, right? What 2 days in Oxbridge does to a motherfucker? Oh, come on. So that's what happened here. And I think a lot of people, even if they don't fully understand that this person is responsible for a lot of death and destruction, I think that they are getting there. Does that make sense? I think people are recognizing they're angry, and they're recognizing a little bit why they're angry. That's all I'm saying, But let's get back to our shooter.
Jacket, black mask, black gloves.
This eyewitness snapping a picture of the suspect as he fled.
I was shocked, and I feared that
bro, chill. Like, maybe he didn't know what he did, though.
Could shoot me too.
By the time police arrived, the suspect had run off and hopped a bicycle to get away. Detectives now working to determine whether he had pre-positioned that bike close by. New video overnight showing the suspect pedaling his bike on the Upper West Side. Officers found the 50-year-old...
No fucking way. He's just still biking around?
Working to determine whether he had pre-positioned that bike close by. New video overnight showing the suspect pedaling his bike...
Is that even him? I just don't... Armchair urbanists rejoice, by the way. But do we even know that that's the guy? Because what he's wearing is such a normal fit. It could be anyone, really. I don't think that's the guy. I think the cops should just give up on looking for this guy. It could be anybody, really. I don't think that, innocent victims should get caught in the process and be harassed. I feel like that's not him. It's not the same bike. It doesn't look like the same guy. It just looks like a different guy. Why are we harassing random civilians? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I saw the dude's face and I was like, I don't even know what he looks like. I can't see it. I don't know what his face is. I don't even know what a face is. I have face blindness, officer. Yeah, it's a real problem. I'm a anti-white racist. Was the guy white? I couldn't even tell. I'm race blind as well. I'm not only face blind, but also race blind. It could be anybody. It could be me. I don't fucking know. I'm in England and I'm confused, you know? I'm just saying. It's a weird situation. I don't see color. And also, I am completely face blind, so.
The West Side. Officers found the 50-year-old insurance executive and father of two collapsed on the sidewalk. Did he have any known enemies or anyone that you've been able to find?
Yeah, the American people. Hold on. Stop. I'm just annoyed with the way the camera looks. Like, it's too high up, and I need to fix it, and I can't fix it, so it's annoying me, you know?
We're reaching out to law enforcement in Minnesota, and we're also interviewing his co-workers and family members to see if there have been any specific threats against him in the past.
To have a pillar of the community in New York, admittedly, for a stockholder meeting, to be gunned down on the street, it's just so foreign.
Even as the leader of a large corporation, Thompson did not have a security team with him. Investigators say they found
a real man of the people. Think about all the jobs this is going to create, though, chat. Trump's America, baby. We got new jobs coming in. These motherfuckers are going to need to get security, like constant 24-hour security. Think about that. God, if I was like a private security guard company, oh my God, so many veterans will be hired. Yeah. I do want everybody to know, yes, Brian Thompson won't see your cruel jokes about him because he's dead, but all of your friends that make millions and millions and millions of dollars off the debts of their customers will. Yeah, it's true. Meanwhile, really interesting time for Blue Cross Blue Shield to come out with some motion. Blue Cross Blue Shield in Connecticut, New York, and Missouri has declared it will no longer pay for anesthesia for the full length of some surgeries. Well, okay then. Just kidding. Blue Cross Blue Shield in Connecticut, New York, and Missouri, as of today, said, never mind, we're not going to do that, actually. They were like, oh, my bad. Hey, my bad. I had a real sudden change of mind. Okay? Real change of heart. Kathy Hochul, New York governor, said, we pushed Anthem to reverse course, and today we'll be announcing a full reversal of the misguided policy. Last night, I shared my outrage at a plan from Anthem to strip away coverage from New Yorkers who had to go under anesthesia for surgery. We pushed Anthem to reverse course, and today they will be announcing a full reversal of this misguided policy. Don't mess with the health and well-being of New Yorkers, not on my watch. Kathy Hochul's so funny. Like, did you shoot the CEO? You can't take credit for that. You're literally using your police forces to hunt down this person right now. Fuck you mean? NYPD response getting cooked on TikTok.
Yo, the billionaire who got shot, that was not funny. The police's response to that was hilarious. If you don't know what happened, there was a billionaire who got assassinated today at 7 in the morning. And the NYPD has been on the news all morning talking about the footage, and they keep gassing up this guy. Every clip of the NYPD talking about this hitman is like, yo, he was nice. He was nice. He had to be a professional. If he wasn't a professional, he should have gone pro. His form was immaculate. You see the way he reloaded it when it jammed? Come on. Honestly, I've got my boys back in the station studying his form. This dude was elite. Used the silencer and got away on a city bike. Come on now. This dude is incredible. He might have been Jason Bourne.
He's not kidding. That's literally every morning news show with a retired detective on basically had this. They were glazing, which, by the way, I wouldn't even say glaze. It's like LeBron, okay? It's like LeBron James. Is it glaze or is it valid? The question comes to mind. And I feel like the expertise that this guy demonstrated, I don't know. I don't think it's glazing. I think it's valid. I don't think it's glaze. I think it's valid. Imagine planning and executing the murder of a CEO in public in the biggest city in America, getting away with it, then going online and seeing a bunch of Reddit experts explaining how you're not a professional hitman. Yeah, I think a lot of people are fucking haters, dude. I think people are just straight hating on my man. It's like, have you fucking had a situation like that? I don't think so. I mean, straight up. Look. This statement in and of itself is not celebrating this heinous act, okay? this wrong act. You understand me? I would never do such a thing. I would never. You can't catch me slipping today. Do you understand? You cannot catch me slipping today. But also, I mean, shit was clean. It was clean. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, he shot him in the leg first. Like, bitch, who cares? What do you mean? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that he was apprehended after unsuccessfully assassinating a CEO, because it seems like he was successful. The fuck? I condemn. I do not condone. I condemn. But I'm just looking simply at the facts of the matter. Okay?
That is the funniest part of it. Like, even after all of this, the police are on the hunt for a hitman, and they still got to be like, yo, this dude's game is incredible. Game respects game.
How convenient that you have an alibi and that you're out of the country is on. Anyway, anyone know where I can find the full video of the assassination? Brother, are you kidding me? Where can't you find it? I think I've watched it like 700 times since it happened. And I was like looking away. I was like, oh, I can't see this. This sucks. I hate seeing this. This is really fucked up. That's what I said. I was doing this the whole time. Whenever I would see it on accident, because my fucking timeline was just literally all that, I would do this the whole time, dude. All the way to Oxford from London. 2 whole hours in the car. I'm going this is what I'm doing. My mom and dad are like, what's wrong, son? What's happening? I'm like, the shame, the horror. I just, you hate to see it. New camera footage. Oh, yeah. Also, I don't know if this is the actual guy, but like, you know, even from the first photo where you can kind of see his face, like he looks fucking hot. So I know it's a different fit. They think it's the same guy. He's just wearing a different fit. I do think that you know, I do not trust the New York Police Department. Yeah, I like this post. I saw this. First time riding the subway. Who even said it was a guy to begin with? Could be a woman. So we literally have nothing to go on and should stop the hunt. That's what I'm saying. How can you be sure? I can't. Can you say with a certainty? Maybe it was Kathy Hochul. Look at how much she's chirping at 8 and Anthem and whatever the fuck. Was it Kathy Hochul? Where the fuck was she? I think what's best is to take a step back at moments like this. The police, let me tell you something. As you guys know, I love the police. Okay? And as the #1 defender of police, I think they have a lot going on. They have too much on their plates. So I think this is one of those instances where, given the limitations that they have with the job, which is a very difficult job, okay, all those homeless people that are, you know, sitting out the sidewalk, unkicked, you know, black teenagers frolicking about, unharassed. I mean, think about so many people that the police have to deal with on a daily basis. Maybe they should take a break. The blue flu. I'm just saying, there are Candy Crush levels that have yet to be tackled. Back to blue. Thin blue line, back to blue. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Cops, they have a lot going on. And I think, given that they have a lot on their plates, they should just kind of, you know, take their time. Figure it out. You know? Try to really reconsider. Anyway, let's keep going.
Shell casings with writing on them, including the words deny, defend, and depose. They also say they found a cell phone, granola bar wrappers, and a water bottle they believe are linked to the shooter.
See, now that could be anybody's cell phone. That could be anybody's granola. I've dropped my cell phone on the side of a crowded street and just kind of left it behind. Sometimes we have busy days, okay? We have busy days.
An assassination-style killing coming at the height of the holiday season while New York is packed with tourists for the nearby lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The NYPD increased patrols and security in the subways.
You know, day-to-day in New York is really scary, and I think that...
This is such a funny take from like a random person because it's such a very clearly deliberate, targeted attack. Like, it's not... Dog, I don't think they're going to kill you, okay? Like, what do you mean? Like, you know who should be scared in this process? Like other healthcare CEOs. If I'm a healthcare CEO and I fucking hear about this, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, I am hiring the maximum security. Okay. Like I'm hiring dudes that only did war crimes. Okay. Like, Blackwater mercenaries, but exclusively the ones that did the most amount of war crimes. I need just like the most roided up fucking brigade around me 24/7. This guy, you're like a fucking shitty desk jockey analyst, okay? At some random fucking corporation. Like, I don't think anybody's coming after you, dog. Like, it's not like if it was a mass shooting or something, like, yeah, that makes sense. You're like, oh man, America's so violent. Like, people randomly die in the streets. It's crazy. Like, this wasn't random, you know?
Everyone here is doing their part to make sure that we have a safe event here.
A family is now grieving this loss. Thompson's wife, Paulette, telling ABC News, "We are shattered to hear about the senseless killing of our beloved Brian. Brian was an incredibly loving, generous, talented man who truly lived life to the fullest and touched so many lives." Police have not identified the suspect, but they are building a profile, Robin, of a man with a grudge, possibly against United Healthcare or the insurance industry in general. Robin.
And what about the writings on those bullet casings? What does that tell police?
That could be another clue toward motive. To take the time to actually write on the shell casings indicates not only premeditation, but also a deeply personal type killing. And those words, deny, depose, defend, those are words often associated with the insurance industry. Robin?
All right, our thanks to you, Aaron. Okay.
We actually have some breaking news just coming in the search for the...
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, I already said this earlier, but if they catch this fucking dude and he says his piece and he's fucking hot, things will change. Okay. This is it feels like a real Shinzo Abe situation. Okay. Straight up. Like, this dude will be a god if they catch him. You're so fixated on the hot thing? Yes, dude. What do you mean? Of course I am. The fuck? People flick their beans to fucking Ted Bundy. What are you talking about? People are fucking freaks. This guy literally didn't do Ted Bundy shit. He did something that a lot of people seemingly, not me, but other people seem to agree with what he did. Okay. So yeah, public trial OD the decade. Have you been on Twitter? Look at this. He's got that hung smile, 30,000 likes. Not just Twitter, even your ops. Green text, all in agreement. He's celebrating the assassination. Wait, what? That I wasn't even live when the thing happened. Called insurance companies evil, said was deserved. Chat spamming RIP Bozo. I mean, so is everyone else. I didn't say that. I would never. I have not condoned. I have condemned. Yeah. What a crazy thing that motherfuckers on 4chan do, by the way, is crazy. Wait a minute. Did someone on 4chan turn around and fucking act like I actually celebrated the assassin to try and get me canceled, only to find out that other people on 4chan were like, yeah, no, everyone is celebrating. So they tried to fucking drum up a fake cancellation on 4chan, and it turned out to be like a unifying moment. Like, I wasn't even live when this shit happened. Is this real? Is this a real post? Yeah. I must have celebrated the assassination before it happened. I was wearing the shirt 2 days ago. That's so funny that my fucking haters that constantly try to get me canceled. My haters that constantly try to get me canceled ended up fucking making me look good, I guess. I don't understand. Trying to cancel you for things people would support you for saying if you did. Wait, they did. They literally did. They made this up. This is from, oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, so is everyone else. What the fuck's wrong with these people, bro? I feel back in the day, I used to joke about this shit where I was like, bro, the world could be fucking ending and my haters would find a way to make it about me somehow. Like, I could be not live that day and the nukes are flying and they'd be like, Hasan did this, 1,000 upvotes. Like, that's crazy that they just like fucking, that's crazy that they went there and like tried to do a cancellation by being like, oh, he's celebrating it. You were live at Cambridge Union at the time? Yeah. That is truly a fucking insane thing. My brother, every day you're not live, I fully expect shit like that to go down. Yeah. That's so funny. Look at this. I'm torn between shitting on Hassan and celebrating the death of a piece of human garbage. You can do both without being torn. I can shit on him today too, accidentally having a good opinion at once. I didn't even... That's crazy. This has 9,000 up. Bro, people are so fucking stupid. It's crazy. Like last time you weren't live, they manufactured a situation where you were suicidal to the point that your IRL friends were concerned. I know. It is pretty nutty. Pearl Mania popped off, 10 million views on TikTok.
They stepped over his body and started the meeting on time. He was in Manhattan at 7 a.m. for an 8 a.m. investor meeting. He got in front of the main doors to the building of the investor meeting. They could have had this shit on Zoom. Instead, they had to be there in person. Why did they have to be there in person? Because we need to make sure commercial real estate is flourishing. He got by an assassin with a silencer while he wore a jacket thinking about PowerPoint presentations on how he is returning value to shareholders by denying health care to moms with breast cancer. And he got caught in the street and they stepped over his body. Those investors that he was working for, the shareholders that he held dear as a CEO, they stepped over his pool of blood. They kicked the shell casings that led to the end of his life down the street because the meeting still had to start on time. These companies don't give a fuck about nobody. He was the chief executive officer of a healthcare company. They fucking didn't even check to see if he still had a pulse. They just wanted to check the stock price, which, mind you, went up 2.5% when they found out his ass was dead. Do less at work.
I'm very sorry, and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving up. I'm very sorry, and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving up. I'm very sorry, and I apologize for the inconvenience of me not giving up. I'm very sorry, and I apologize.
Why did it only play one video and not
Hear
more?
the status.
Anyway, I had to change. Oh my god, I had to get out of my freaking. Please be live Sunday because I'm afraid your curse is gonna rub off on the Romanian presidential election. That would be external interference in our elections. I hate dressing up, so undressing after wearing a suit is so freeing. Yeah, show pit. Oh my god. Okay, the guns are out and unsilenced. Yeah, I had to take the silencer off. Just gonna leave this Lolo TikTok here.
No, not the healthcare CEO. No, curse it. No, take my eyes, but not the healthcare CEO.
He's right.
No, why? No, he only made $10 million last year. What can he even buy with $10 million anymore? Nothing. They approved 70% of the claims. They approved 70% of them. You want them to approve all of them? Oh, not the healthcare CEO. What?
I mean, I said this. I said this when Trump was shot, bro. I said this shit when Trump was shot. America is a uniquely violent nation, okay? America has a lot of guns. Hey, you know what? Maybe we'll get fucking gun control now. Huh? Maybe we'll get gun control now. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe. It was never a problem when you and your family were in the fucking crosshairs. I saw a post about how the police were shutting, they were closing traffic in and out of the island, shutting down the bridges. And people in the comments were talking, well, my cousin got shot. They didn't fucking, close the bridges. What's that about? Oh, I'm sorry. When a fucking CEO gets shot, all of a sudden, we got to close down the bridges? People got places to be? What's that about? People are noticing. They're developing, dare I say, a little bit of class consciousness. I don't know. Yep, there it is. The number of CEOs getting shot matched the number of school shootings per year. We'd have gun control legislation passed immediately. 100%.
Dude, no way. Bro, what happened? What is it? It says here the CEO of United Healthcare, like the insurance company, got gunned down in broad daylight in the middle of New York City. Dude, check this out. What the heck? That's nuts. Bro, I know. And it says in the article that the gunman is still on the loose right now as we speak. Oh my God. Is he okay? No, dude, the CEO ended up dying at the... Oh, no, I'm not talking about the CEO. I'm talking about the gunman. Is he all right? Like, has he Has he fled the country? Is he okay? Does he need food, water? I don't think you could say that.
Yeah, I mean, true. That is what other people are saying. Not me. Chat, not me. Never me. I would never say that. I'm shaking my head when I see these TikToks. It's not funny. Okay? What is this? Shouldn't the American people be getting their money's worth? Yes, we waste hundreds of billions of dollars a year in healthcare administrative expenses that make insurance CEOs and wealthy stockholders incredibly rich, while 85 million Americans go uninsured or underinsured. Healthcare is a human right. We need Medicare for all. Yo, it would have been way more sick if he just fucking posted that on a post about the demise of the healthcare CEO. Let me guess. I haven't seen this yet. Amy Klobuchar. Because I saw the post. I saw Amy Klobuchar's post. And I saw Tim Walz's post. And it hurt my feelings. I'm going to assume they're up there. Oh, no. Okay, she was running for president. All right, let's look at the other individuals. These are institutions and shit. I want to see individuals. Damn. Amy did this shit for free? Oh my gosh, she did this for 14 grand, dude. Are you fucking kidding me, Amy? God damn, for 2024. Let's see. Maybe they cooked her last cycle. What? Amy, you fucking broke boy? Do filter by candidate? United Healthcare Group recipients 2024. I did do filter by candidate, no? Didn't I? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Amy didn't get shit, dude. She came out and started popping off her... Whoa. What? What the hell? Uh-oh. Deep State's coming after me, chat. Hold up. Hold the door. Hold the phone. We're back. I just got fucking... It's clobbering time. You know what I mean? I got clobbered. Little mini F. Little baby F. It's all good. We're back, baby. We're back. A little bit of fucking not today CIA moment, you know? All right. Let's look at the new photos.
In yesterday's shocking killing of United Healthcare CEO.
It's not the CIA. It's MI5. Benjamin Franklin of L. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
Police have released this. Look at this. This new photos coming in showing the suspected gunman
baby F, yeah.
Inside a hostel.
Hold
like
on,
he's
lads.
smiling right there. This in the Upper West Side in New York City. CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller joins us now. This is a big piece of evidence in this investigation, John.
Well, it's a turning point. You know, we have been asking the metaphoric question, who is the man behind the mask? At least we don't know who is the man behind the mask, but we see the face behind the mask now. And, you know, police worked with these images. This is at a youth hostel, which is on the Upper West Side. They were there yesterday, last night, actually searching a room that they believe the gunman stayed in. They believe this is a picture of him. He kept the jacket on and the hood up and the mask up almost at all times, according to people in that hostel. But there was this moment at the front desk in the lobby where the mask came down, and you see that smile. And this is so far the only image of his face without a mask, the best image police have. And what they said is...
They're like, look at his beautiful smile. It's not even the same jacket. It's a different jacket, man.
Even though it's not quality where you would generate a facial recognition image or something that would bring you to a mugshot if he had a record, what it is it's an image that if you knew him, a coworker, a friend, a family member, you would say, that's so-and-so. And that's why they're releasing it right now. They're trying to speed this up by literally crowdsourcing this clue to the general population.
Yeah, I mean, they clearly need the public's help, as it's now been more than 24 hours with this person, the suspect, on the loose. I mean, where do investigators think he is at this point?
Well, so this is a turn in the investigation. The idea that there was some thinking earlier on that he was a New Yorker because of the savvy way he moved through Midtown, stashed an e-bike, navigated through Central Park up to the Upper West Side, was seen on the Upper West Side earlier in the morning before the shooting, carrying a battery for that bike. It suggested a familiarity that suggested maybe he was a New Yorker, but the idea that he stayed in a hostel up there for 2 days in a room for 4, but there were 2 other men sleeping in there, so he stayed with 2 strangers. That may change the leaning towards someone who came from out of town and tried to stay in a place that would have a minimum number of cameras and not cost very much, and the kind of place where people don't notice people because it's very transient.
Do you know more about the timeline in terms of when these pictures were taken and this rare moment, as you said, where he put his mask down at the front desk at this hostel before the shooting? It just strikes me that he's in this picture smiling.
You know, I don't have the precise timeline, but in that police were up there yesterday and last night. They did a search of the room. The hotel, of course, cooperated with them and got these, the hostel rather, got these images. It suggests he was probably there Tuesday and Wednesday, but give or take a day. That's something investigators know. We have people up there now talking to them, and something we'll know soon, but it appears to be very recent.
What do police do in this situation, John, when, you know, it's been more than 24 hours, he's still on the loose, he could very well be outside of New York City and beyond? I mean, how far do they cast the net at this point looking for him?
Well, I mean, the real net is global, which is he could have gone to Kennedy Airport, got on a flight, and be anywhere in the world right now, which is another reason to release these photos, which show the face. But I think the current thinking is he came in from outside New York, stayed at this transient location, did the job he came for, and is probably back where he came from, which is yet another reason to put these photos out, because is he from Minnesota, where United Health is headquartered? Is he from Montana or Nebraska or somewhere that has nothing to do with this? Or is he from, you know, Pennsylvania? That's the wild card, and this may help spur that in terms of the crowdsourcing from the public.
Quickly, John, given all of your experience in law enforcement, how quickly, typically, after pictures like this that are pretty clear of his face come out, do you hear from someone who knows the person?
Usually very quickly. You know, I think of the last couple of serial killer cases that I was involved in the NYPD, where we finally got a full face shot with good lighting, and within hours of putting that out, we had people calling in saying, I know who that is. I'm pretty confident that this will work. When you look at that image, if you know him, you'll know him.
Yeah, it's true. Well, certainly.
Snitches. He looks like anybody. He could be anybody. I don't know what they're talking about. You know, maybe it was, I have an idea. What if it was the CEO of a competitive insurance company? Have you thought about that? What if he was the CEO of another insurance company and he wanted to take this guy out because he's like, oh my God, you're denying way too much. Like, you're too efficient. You've eliminated too many redundancies. Like, you've denied coverage to too many people. Like, that's sick. I'm jealous. And then they did that. You should just arrest all of the insurance CEOs, all the healthcare insurance CEOs, just to be safe. A real dragnet, you know? I'm trying to find solutions. I'm trying to find solutions to the fucking problem. And a lot of people are not understanding, like, I want this criminal, this disgusting crime to be punished. Okay? And the best way to do that is preemptively arrest every single other insurance CEO. Plus, they're free. Like, they're free of potential other violence. Like, because maybe it's a serial killer insurance CEO and he's going to go and kill other insurance CEOs as well. So this way, like, you get to put them in prison. So, like, they're not going to be harmed. You know what I mean? This is real 5D chess, boys. Okay. I'm thinking big. I'm thinking hard. Seems like a lot of other people are not engaging in the creative thinking that is necessary in this moment. And it's sad to see, honestly. It's a very sad state of affairs. It's sad to see. I don't like it. I want to put an end to this. It's for the safety of the public. Arrest all the other insurance CEOs. Just figure it out afterwards. You know what I mean?
I hope so. And it's so important for the public to help and to reach out to authorities as he is still on the loose after killing this United Healthcare CEO on the streets of Manhattan. John Miller.
Before he was killed, United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was facing a lawsuit accusing him and other execs of insider trading amid a DOJ probe. See, gotta arrest the other guys. I think, yeah. I think you have to arrest the other guys too, just to be sure. See, I think, yeah. See, there you go. You just got to make sure. I'm doing this for safety. I think people's reactions to a health insurance CEO getting assassinated are incredibly dark. Our apologies, but bullet wounds are covered only under a Platinum Plus package. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Look. I think this, like, your reaction to the story is dependent on the way you view society, right? If you think society is it's fine, it's not like things aren't that bad, right? Celebrating death of someone you assume is innocent across the board is a fissure, is a direct representation that, like, at least other people are in a very chaotic, other people have a very different assessment, right? And it's a scary situation for people like that. You know, the Jack Posobiec's of the world, right? Like the supposedly edgy right-wingers who jerked off to that one fucking old Santa Claus looking motherfucker who, like, shot the protesters, the climate change protests for stopping traffic. Like, all those guys are now trying to maintain the edgy status that they have and the audiences that they have that are edgy, while simultaneously also shitting in their diapers because, like, they are definitely very interested in protecting the wealthy unconditionally. And I think part of that is because they just think like, you know, the social order is not all that bad. They don't, you know, they're either tasked with maintaining it and normalizing the pain, or they themselves are in a relatively privileged position, and therefore they don't understand why people would interpret the situation differently. You know, death isn't a bad thing. It's a part of life. Murder and death is like Sicily and Italy. What about the Abe assassination? Did people also react like this? Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think it was a little different because with Shinzo Abe, there was a lot of, like, anti-Korean hatred in Japanese society as well. So when they found out why the killer did it, they were like, oh my God, he had a very valid reason. So their initial reaction wasn't that, but when they found out why he did it, they were like, oh, this is great. We're on board. Like, the assassin's wishes were fulfilled, right? So that's the difference, I think. Whereas in this one, everybody immediately knew what the motive was and everybody was on board, right? And if you weren't on board with this because you're like, well, this, like, kind of destroys the social order that exists, like, this is fucked up. This is vigilante justice. It's, like, really messed up shit. I understand where you're coming from. If your immediate reaction to this and the celebration of it is, like, panic, you probably are in a situation where the current social order has benefited you at least enough that you don't fully understand why people are so invested in this. And you see it as, like, vigilante justice. You see it as anarchy, right? And it's scary. So if you're one of these people that is in a position of privilege, that doesn't understand why people are so excited at this prospect, I think it would be wise for you to try to figure out exactly why people feel this way. Because it's not that America is so fucking violent. I mean, that plays a role in it for sure. But I think it almost feels like a pressure valve releasing for a lot of people where they think, like, well, this guy's fucked me over. Guys exactly like him have fucked me over. They've fucked my family over. They've ruined people I know's lives. Like, they've ruined the lives of my loved ones. And now one of them got to come up. And now if you think that is inappropriate to think, then that's fine. You can feel that way. But if you want to fix this problem, there needs to be legislation. And I promise you, I'm not talking about the type of legislation that makes it, like, extra illegal to kill fucking CEOs. I'm talking legislative solutions to why people are so fucking angry, because their anger is valid. Maybe not directed towards this one individual CEO, but their anger is valid. It's real, and it's not going away. You understand me? It's not going away. That's all I'm saying. I think it's time. It's time for some universal health care. Imagine if one party captured all the essence and all the energy and all the anger and all the resentment that people were experiencing and very openly declaring right now in this very moment, this pivotal moment, and said, oh, you know what? We have a solution for that. It's called Medicare for All. We've always been on board. It's great. You know, welcome to the fray. Imagine.
Thank you so much.
I want to continue the conversation and welcome in now Bobby Chacon. He is a retired FBI special agent and former leader of the FBI dive team. Bobby, great to have you. Just first your reaction. I'm not sure if you can see the monitor, but this clear.
Yeah. Europeans watching Americans fix their healthcare system with gun violence. I mean, it's fucking real. This is in fact a joke and not actual healthcare policy analysis, but you can find that below. Too bad the story itself would be the shooting and not the underlying reasons. I don't think it matters.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew.
I don't think it matters that the media is covering it as like this massive atrocity, or maybe even taking it one step further, taking it one step further, and then like openly stating that, people are being really gross about his death or whatever. Cat's out of the bag. People feel this way. And better yet, people were not even remotely afraid of saying that they feel this way. I'm seeing my mom's suburban middle-aged mom friends post stuff like, I hope more of them die. What is even happening, Lamau? By middle-aged, I mean people in their 50s. I am a mom, not a teenager. Also, I didn't expect this to blow up. My mother died of cancer in 2022. She didn't have insurance, and it had spread to her whole body when she found out in an emergency room less than a year before she died. They took down their page of their healthcare, their board of directors. No way. This is what we warned you about. Far leftists are fucking unhinged and dangerous. Great. This right here, I think, is playing itself out in exactly the way I predicted the campaign would play itself out. Republicans' natural position is licking the boot. The Republican natural position is being servile to corporate interests. So in a moment where people maybe go a little out of hand, okay, surely this is not simply just being anti-corporate or anti-capitalist. I'm saying it's definitely taking it one step further. Having said that, however, they immediately reveal their true positions, okay? When you're a guy who's a Tim Pool fan and you're like, man, this shit's actually pretty dope. And you hear Tim Pool go, what are you doing? You're out of control. You're mad. After he sucked Kyle Rittenhouse's cock and the fucking fat Santa Claus who shot the fucking climate protesters. And then he clutches his pearls like this. And you're a Tim Pool fan who celebrated when those other two things happened. And you see him go in this direction in this moment. And you know how it felt when your father had fucking healthcare coverage denied. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, what the fuck? Do you understand? This is what I mean. I'm not saying Democrats should fucking kill healthcare executives. That'd be insane. Okay? But if Democrats were pro-Medicare for all at a time when it very obviously is something the public is demanding, maybe even violently, Republicans would do themselves a disservice by constantly fighting against that. If the killer was pro-NATO, would you change your position? Wait, what? What are you saying? I mean, this is pretty much the same reaction leftists like him have when a working class woman is stabbed to death at a bus stop by a repeat offender. This is such a funny take because no one has ever said that. And notice how you had to like make up a fake fantasy about like a random working class woman getting stabbed in a bus stop and not a fucking healthcare CEO getting domed, because it's different, you know? That's a random person who was a victim of a heinous crime. Be careful talking. You're still in the UK. About what? You think I'm gonna get shanked, yeah? They're gonna give you a Glaswegian smile, mate. Fucking hell. I'll shank yous. It's also wild because the Daniel Perry incident, the Daniel Perry trial is also happening in New York right now. And Republicans have been like freaking out because he killed a homeless person. Like he just straight up killed a mentally ill homeless person on camera. And they're like, you have to free him. So no, they are the ones who fucking celebrate when random, like the most marginalized random people get murdered. So no, that's what it is. You can either have an unconditional, I am no fun, anti-capital punishment unconditionally, anti-vigilante justice, or you can be a fucking right-wing freak. You feel me? Right-wing freaks love when powerless people get killed. It's a power fantasy for them. They hate when someone in a position of power actually gets killed. And when school children get killed, they just go, oh, I love my guns. Sorry, sucks to suck. Thoughts and prayers. But there's only one group that they actually think is horrifying to do violence against, and that is powerful people. Because At the end of the day, their ideology dictates that they must be servile little piggies. Okay? What is this? I love Aaron Rupar because he has the exact personality of Snail from Armored Core 4. Like, he's just brimming with white-hot contempt, but it's inside of the package of a normal, annoying, scoldy news guy who calls everyone fam. That's insane. He fucking posted an Armored Core reference. That's too much for me. That's too rich for my blood, you know? Anyway, just something to consider about who right-wingers, what kind of violence right-wingers celebrate. Here's Kylie Chung with a fire take. The way we're socialized to see violence only as interpersonal. Hold on, my food is here.
Pretty full-face photo now of the suspect.
Yeah, Rahel, I think this is the biggest development in the case so far. I think that there's somebody, a family, a relative, a friend, a coworker of this guy is going to recognize this. Now, you may have lookalikes, they may have to sift through some of those, but you know, you're showing this image globally, and certainly within the United States and internationally, this is going to be all over, and someone is bound to recognize this guy as a neighbor, as a coworker, you know, as a family member possibly. So yeah, I think that they are hours away possibly from actually having this guy identified if they don't have him identified already.
And Bobby, when you look at this photo, I mean, to me, a layperson, not in law enforcement, this feels pretty significant. I mean, if you know who this person is, you can see the person's smile, you can see pretty good facial features. How would you rate this photo in terms of it being able to potentially identify who this is?
Bro, she's like, he's hot.
Well,
she's like, you can see how hot he is. Look at that beautiful smile.
I would say it's not perfect, but it's very good. I mean, it's very good. You can see the shape of his face. He has kind of a unique smile or a grin. He seems very relaxed. I mean, I think with the nose and the chin and the smile, I certainly think people that know this guy, if they see this image, they'll be like, oh, that's so and so. So I think this is a great image to put out there, and I think someone's going to recognize this.
And then, Bobby, if we can just sort of reverse track what we now know. So we now have this photo. Police apparently understand what hostel this person may have been staying at. They have these shell casings with these words on it, delay and depose. I mean, from your vantage point, does it sound like they're closing in here?
Absolutely. They're closing in from several different aspects, right? So we already have the forensic evidence. Now we have possible motive, which is, you know, denied coverage. And now you have this physical image. So they're coming at this from many different angles, and each of those angles is progressively getting to the person. I mean, I think it's very much closing in on him, on actually identifying him. Now it's a question of finding out where he is once you identify him. But yes, I think that the motive from those etchings and those rounds to me is clear, that this was a denied coverage type of event. In that situation, you usually have communications with the person who's been denied coverage, and those communications there's a series of them, and they grow in frustration. The person keeps getting frustrated at each turn that it's denied and appealed and denied. And so you might have a series of communications, however that is, probably emails or possibly the website forms on the company's websites, or written letters even, that show a increasing frustration on the part of the person or their family member in this denied coverage. And each letter gets
Why is this guy giving reasons?
Threats of violence eventually seep into those letters. You'll have somebody, forensic linguistics, go over this and look at those. But there's probably a series of communications that get more and more frustrating from the person.
That doesn't narrow it down, big dog. Just saying. That doesn't narrow it down at all, as a matter of fact. Tens of thousands of people.
Ending it, because nobody goes from zero to shooting someone in the chest. There's probably been communications that show a increasing frustration on the part of the claimant.
And just for our viewers, you are looking at another angle at the very least, or a completely separate photo of the suspect, again, without the mask. Bobby, what do you imagine is happening right now within the police force? Is this a sort of all hands on deck? Now they have these photos, they flood the streets. I mean, what's happening now as they try to bring this person into custody?
They're combing Central Park looking for his clothes. He probably changed clothes in Central Park. They'll probably find the e-bike there, maybe his set of clothes that he changed out of. They're working the phones on international media like yourself to put this out to as many outlets as they can, to get as many eyeballs on these two photos that you're showing now on the screen. I mean, these are great photos. Somebody's going to recognize this guy. So they're probably working the phones on every both national and international news outlet to get this worldwide image because someone's going to recognize this guy. The forensic people are doing their job. The canvas people are out in the street still interviewing people both in New York and in Minnesota. And then the media people are really pressing the phones and trying to get this image as
the race to catch a killer in New York City, with new clues this morning after the brazen murder of United Healthcare's CEO Brian Thompson yesterday, right on the sidewalk in the morning in Manhattan. Several law enforcement officials now tell CNN that 2 words, delay and depose, were found at the scene. Depose, written on a shell casing from a round that was fired into the victim. Delay, written on a live round not fired, but ejected when the shooter appeared to be clearing a jam. There's also new video of the encounter, and police say show the killer who planned the attack, targeted this man, and had experience with guns. Let's get right to CNN's Bryn Gingras, who was here giving us all of the breaking news as the details were just beginning to come in yesterday morning. You've been gathering details since. What's the latest this hour, Bryn?
Yeah, Kate, well, that, is a big piece of evidence that they uncovered there, according to our sources from John Miller, just because it might possibly point to some sort of motive here. If you talk about those 2 words, investigators are trying to connect the dots and see if it has anything to do with the fact that Brian Thompson was the CEO of United Healthcare. Did it have to do with insurance, because of the popular phrasing in the insurance industry of delay, deny, and defend? So that is something that is being asked by investigators right now. But that's not the only thing, only piece of evidence, rather, that, of course, that investigators are looking into. We know there was a lot of things that were left behind by this suspect that right now police are trying to determine if they can get DNA off of, fingerprints, running forensics on them, trying, of course, to get closer to getting a name. And of course, we are asking our sources, are they any closer to getting a name in addition to finding this person responsible? Let's also talk about a little bit more of the threats that police are hearing were made against Brian Thompson. According to sources of mine, I was told that they were some concerning threats that the investigators had come across, really their security team for United Healthcare had come across, made against the entire company of United Healthcare, the CEOs, the executive team, and that was something that was being looked at. According to NBC, the widow of Brian Thompson, she told NBC that she knew about some threats and said, quote, "I don't know details. I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him." So this is also something that is of concern and what is being investigated at this time. So a lot of threads here, a lot of search warrants going on. We know that there was a search warrant at the hotel across the street where Thompson was staying in that room. We also know that investigators are still piecing together that timeline. We know that, according to sources telling John Miller, that suspect left the Upper West Side early yesterday morning, heading downtown, getting off at the 57th Street subway, and stopped at a Starbucks, bought 2 power bars, bought a water bottle before actually committing this brazen, really, execution. And investigators were able to get that water bottle and hopefully, again, are trying to see if there's any DNA that can get off of that. So
it could be anybody's water bottle
this morning, but no idea just yet if they're any closer to finding who is responsible for this horrific killing, guys.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be standing by to wait for and hope for another update press conference from the NYPD at some point soon. It's great to see you, Bryn. Thank you. John.
All right, with us now, CNN national security analyst Juliette Kayyem and former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. And Andy, let's just start with these words. I mean, delay and depose. What a big development to have something like this, a message, a literal message from a killer.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, John. It doesn't quite identify the person at this point, but it's a bit of a tantalizing detail. I mean, as Bryn just noted in her piece, it raises some questions as to whether or not those words are a reference to kind of insurance speak. And that would, of course, point in the direction that this person was somehow, was certainly personally invested in this murder. And that, might be a disgruntled customer of the company, could be a disgruntled employee. And I'm sure that investigators are already looking in those areas. And of course, looking at the threat information that apparently the company had been receiving for some time about this specific victim and other potential victims on the team. But those words can also provide forensic significance later on in the case. if someone is detained and has writings in which those words appear in kind of the same context, you could have matches that way. And of course, you might be able to render a fingerprint or DNA evidence off of those rounds and casings as well. So very, very important piece of evidence for the investigators.
Yeah, to be clear, those words delay and depose and also deny is occasionally thrown in there as well, are words very much used by critics of the health insurance industry. I mean, there are books written, as Reddit. You don't have to do many searches to figure out that that would be a message about health insurance. Given this message,
Am I crazy, or did they not mention deny? Like, that's literally, that's one of the things on the bullets. Like, was it not? No, he said sometimes deny is also mentioned, he said. But he didn't say that it was on the bullets when I think it was.
all the footage now, Juliet, are you surprised we don't have a name, at least a name that we're not being told yet?
Yeah, and in fact, the fact that we're entering day 2 and that his exit was so sophisticated not only confirms what we already know, that this was not just a targeted killing, but a professional killing. I mean, just the specificity of it, his calmness when he reloads a gun. And now that he's missing suggests he was smart enough to have some sort of exit strategy. 24 hours later, you can't even confirm that he's still in the state anymore. And that will make it harder. We don't know if in the next couple hours the NYPD says that he hasn't, but I think what this is showing is that, first of all, we should just remind him, Brian Thompson is a 50-year-old man with a wife and 2 children. Yeah. So all the stuff about healthcare and everything bad about healthcare is just ridiculous at this stage. He is 10% of all doctors have some touch point with his company, with United Healthcare. In other words, this is such a vast web of associations, and lots of people are probably angry at him. It's a customer service business.
Yeah, he's just a customer service representative. That's why he was making millions of dollars a year as a customer service guy.
Lots of people will be angry, and he's the touch point, or he's the focal point as the CEO of that company. And so there's a lot of people in that pool.
I mean, if you were running a healthcare company, would you be getting protection right now?
If I were, okay, so now this is going back. Looking at those videos, not only does he not have a detail, he appears to have no staff. I've never seen anything like that for a company that large. It may be that that he's always under threats. People are always mad at an insurance company. I spent a lot of time yesterday with people who are in executive protection. Everyone is ratcheting up until they know. Healthcare and other service industries where people are mad, angry, disappointed on the other end are ones in which CEOs are going to look for more protection.
All right, Andy, Juliet used the phrase professional killer, and that may be art or science here, but how would you describe the level of skill in terms of the killing itself and also the getaway, and what that means about who this person might be and also the manhunt itself?
Sure. So we don't know at this point if it's a professional act, meaning someone who was hired to commit this murder. It's possible, but we don't know that just yet. What we do know is an extremely well-organized, highly planned, sophisticated attack. From everything we've seen so far, from the fact that he was seen carrying the battery to the e-bike, which raises the question of maybe he pre-positioned the e-bike before the attack to stage it for his getaway. The fact that he showed up at the perfect time, which was really a weird time to have the CEO showing up for this conference an hour and 20 minutes early, but he knew that the guy would be in that place at that time, which tells you he possibly did some surveillance to make that determination. His approach to the target, letting the target pass first and approaching him only.
Bro, you guys literally get mad at me, and I don't do a third of the glaze on LeBron that this man is doing for the guy. Which leads me to my question. 1, is this guy the LeBron of killing CEOs? Question number 2, how does this affect LeBron's legacy? Question number 3, is it glaze or is it valid? Because I think we call a lot of shit glaze, and sometimes it's not glaze, it's just valid. And for LeBron, it's valid, despite his, subpar performance here and there in the past couple of games. He just wants other people to also feel the glory, That's why they lost by 40. LeBron wanted other teams in the NBA to feel what it's like to be able to drop 40, He's just a good guy like that. Anyway, let's continue.
from behind where the victim wouldn't see him first and, you know, raise alarm. And then the way he walks through the shooting, clearly very accomplished shooter, somebody who's done some training. He has the right stance. He has the right grip on the gun. He cycles through the jam in the firearm like it's nothing. And that's a clear indication of a high degree of training. So yeah, this guy was no joke, and clearly thought about this, organized it very well, and executed it according to plan.
How long could someone like that hide, Andy, do you think?
You know, I think it's fair to assume that he put just as much thought and preparation and organization into his escape plan. I mean, the e-bike was really brilliant. It's an easy way to get around quickly. You don't get snarled in traffic jams. You can actually ride the bike into the park, which you wouldn't be able to do with a vehicle in the same way. So that was great. He's got the big backpack on. It likely has a change of clothes in it. I would guess that as soon as he got a moment or some cover, he took off that coat and the mask and the things that could identify him, and likely walked out of the park in a totally different appearance and blended right in with the crowds of tourists and people going to work. So he could be on the run for quite some time. Now, he's being chased by probably the best police force in the United States of America, maybe anywhere. They have an amazing video surveillance network to rely on. They've been very good about getting the information out to the public to get all these public eyes looking around and thinking and calling in tips. So I think they will get him eventually, but this could take a while.
All right, Julia Kayyem, Andrew McCabe, thanks to both of you.
So, speaking of tips, as soon as this shit happened, you have motherfuckers
We actually have some
with NFTs
We're going to bring it
in their fucking profile picture, immediately going, "We found him!" This guy, Riley. Wait, what? This is his friend, Anat, who shot with a low-tech camera footage of this kid going, it's not an NFT. It's not. It's a character from Brain Pop. Moby is not an NFT. Anyway, this guy had a big-ass effort post on Twitter. Worse than NFT is a webtoon. Okay, I don't know what it is. I don't care. Shut up, nerds. Okay? And he was feeling himself so hard, talking about like, oh, I scrape city bike information because I'm fucking a boring loser, and I think I know what city bike like this killer most likely used. I am working with law enforcement authorities, right? And he wrote this like massive Twitter post, and then everybody started dunking on him, and they're like, why are you snitching, you fucking asshole? You know? Yeah, here it is. I'm fairly confident of where the United Healthcare assassin escaped to. He escaped on an electric city bike, according to the police. I happen to continuously scrape city bike data every minute, so I can see where individual bikes go. The only northbound city bike to leave within 10 minutes of the shooting from any dock near the hotel went to Madison Avenue East and 82nd Street. Bike 421-6511 left the dock at 54th Street, blah, blah, blah. And he reported to the NYPD. I have to assume Lyft/Bay Wheels is helping the police because they have more detailed info. This is the data that I have. These are the only bikes that left the 6 docks in a 3-block radius. Only one matches the time and direction. I can't believe my little data nerd experiment actually amounted to something in the real world. Lamau, I realize how crazy I haven't scraped city bike data sounds. I was going to do a little wholesome data visualization experiment. It really would have been crazy to use an electric city bike of all things. So obviously, we know what happened because we are living in the future. And the context also says, it has been shown highly unlikely that the suspect used a city bike and is fleeing at the scene. While this tracking is impressive, it appears clear both from the photo evidence and from Lyft representatives directly that the city bike was not used. But that didn't stop this guy in the process of flexing how sick he was for scraping this data and trying to snitch out this like some random person to the police and maybe getting them in trouble for the crime of getting a fucking city bike. I forget white people was born police. And not only were they feeling themselves so fucking hard, him and his buddy filmed this.
Low tech.
Wait, what just happened?
So there was unfortunately a very sad shooting in Manhattan where the United Healthcare CEO was shot. Seemed like he was targeted. Very, very terrible. But then I was watching the news this morning, and the police chief in the news conference said that the assailant fled on a city bike, on an e-bike. Which is like crazy that a criminal would flee on a bike, like especially a city bike. But I've been scraping city bike data for the past few weeks. This is not it right here. This is it right here where, I can see where every individual bike has been So I can see, okay, like this, let's see, like right here, bike number like 2164382 entered a dock at 2:03 p.m. and then it exited the dock. Someone else took the bike at 2:13 p.m. At station number 1058, which is Columbus Ave and West 59th Street.
Yeah.
So using all this data, I can see, I checked all the possible rides that the assailant could have fled on, and there were like only these 8 rides within the time frame of the shooting. Only one of them was headed northbound through Central Park, so that was, which is what the police said that the guy went through. So,
bro was feeling himself so hard he filmed this process with a camera that purposely looks old, and then he filmed the outside of his fucking apartment like a dumbass because he wanted to feel important. He wanted to feel like he was in the conversation. Like, what are you doing? Turns out he wasn't even right. And now people are probably fucking sending him death threats, which is inappropriate. I don't think being a fucking nerd means that you get death threats. I don't think it's valid. No, it's not. It's not valid. It's fucking ridiculous, okay? He is not a fucking pharmaceutical healthcare executive, okay? Shut the fuck up. He also kind of looks like he could be the shooter.
I'm like really confident that this one ride was where the guy ended up. So he ended up on the Upper East Side. So yeah, I tweeted this. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and a bunch of people reached out, and like the tweet's getting a lot of likes now.
Yeah. Why the fuck do you have this data, Riley?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I like making kind of fun, weird websites that show data in an interesting way, and like I thought it'd be cool to make a site that shows like in real time like all the city bike rides in New York. Because like this isn't data that you can normally get. Like I had to reverse engineer the Lyft app to get this, so it's like data that you really can't get normally.
Wait, what did you do?
So like in the Lyft app, if I like want to go and get a bike, let's say I like click on this stock right here, I can see that, oh, like bike 437034 is there and like 382600 is there. This is not public data, but like Lyft does give it in the app. Like it's not easy to get from their like public data APIs, but you can see it in the app. So I reverse engineer this endpoint, and then I set up scripts to like go through and check every minute, every dock in New York. So I've just been sitting on the data. I haven't made the website yet, but I have the data at least. So yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I've been sitting on the data. I haven't made the website yet, but I have the data at least. So yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Get it how I live it. Wait, hold on. Where's the new photo? Where the fuck's that photo where he's smiling, bro? Wait, this one doesn't have the...
Let's bring in NBC.
How come none of these have the fucking actual photo? Who has the new photo? Hold on. Bruh, I don't know, man. This guy right here, officers. Officers, we got him. Officers, this is the guy. You can't throw people off the scent. We got him, boys. That's right. Get this criminal now. NYPD, open up. He's the one. Get this guy off the streets, okay? Yeah, he thought he could get us with a shitty camera, but I reverse engineered it with my 5-head hacker moves. Yep. Get his ass, officers. Please. Are we sure the shooter is a good guy? After all, he went to Starbucks? That's such a funny take, dude. Yeah, no, he's allowed to break BDS, okay? He could have been chugging a Diet Coke in the process. Girl. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. They got the top minds on this data.
To bring in NBC News analyst Clint Watts, a former special agent with the FBI. Clint, good morning. This is a fascinating and tragic case. And when you look at some of these facts that we now know, especially this breaking news about an inscription of some sort on the shell casings themselves, what do you make of what we know?
Yeah, interesting, the different scenarios that can play out. One, it's a targeted killing, maybe sponsored by an entity, versus a personal grievance, and maybe this individual had against the victim or the United Health itself. Looking at the two, the reconnaissance obviously was done and was quite remarkable. The shooting, the shooter was very good with clearing that jam with a weapon, would show weapon experience, the escape route and the pre-planning. All of that is in place, which would seem to suggest there's some professional, sort of capability there. At the same point, the engravings, that are being reported on the shell casings, using actual purchases at a Starbucks right across the street, those are things that you just wouldn't see from something that was a more professional sort of assassination attempt. You wouldn't be caught on camera either. So just looking at these two scenarios, I think we just need a lot more evidence.
Okay, that part's not true. Bro, it's New York City. Hella parts of New York City have cameras. Like, what do you mean? Also, y'all haven't caught him. The CEO flag is at half-mast. Beautiful. They're flying a Patagonia vest half-mast to honor the fallen sea. How tall do you think he is? I can't tell. I mean, he could be like 4'3" or even 6'8", honestly. Like, something in between. Like, sometimes when I look at the video, I'm thinking like, oh, that's like a 4'8" guy. You know what I mean? And then other times I look at the video, I'm like, maybe he's like 8'11". It's just weird. Guys, I can't begin to explain to you. I just can't seem to place my finger on what this guy looks like. This one individual guy, he just looks like everybody. It's weird. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in this. Some other people in the chat have also made it clear they too have no idea who this guy is and can't seem to place what he looks like. He just has no like unique traits to him at all. Just so generic. Is he? People say he's white. I don't even know. Is he a white guy? Like I said, I'm face blind and race blind, so
evidence to understand which way it might go.
And some of that evidence, again, was found at the scene, those shell casings that we were just talking about. It said defend, deny, and depose somehow inscribed on the bullet casings. What does that tell you?
Yeah, that would seem to suggest that there's some sort of a personal or ideological motive around this specific target. What you also saw in that video is it was going after that gentleman, but not anyone else. So this is not a random shooting. This is not a spree shooting that we might be talking about. This is somebody who was specifically targeted. You see those words there. It's probably attached to some sort of a motive, some sort of a grievance for going after that specific target.
So what are investigators doing now? I mean, there's cameras everywhere. They were able to track him to a certain point. But now what? As every hour passes, this presumably gets more difficult.
I think that's another thing that's remarkable about this case is New York City's got more cameras than just about anywhere in the world. Maybe London and Singapore are two others. Where does this individual go for their escape route? They go into Central Park, which is one of the places that's most difficult to actually keep track of an individual over time. So from now forward, I'm sure the NYPD are moving very aggressively on really three things. The evidence around the purchases of the Starbucks and the evidence left behind, the gun casing. The gun casing will also have marks of the actual weapon. So they're going to try and see, is that weapon registered? Do they have some sort of ATF? Do they have some sort of evidence that ties?
That's insane, chat. Calling all my deductible daddies and premium princesses, the CEO of United Healthcare just expired, and we about to file a claim on this campy coffin. Cutie. Shout out to all my copay cutthroats who stay denying the system and working the gag order. Today's the day we snatch this funeral fantasy and serve it with a side of universal healthcare. No network restrictions, no pre-authorization. Send this to 10 of your network Nancy's, or say bye-bye to that policy payout. If you get back 5, you're a certified claims queen. And if you get back 10, we all get in that single payer puss. Hashtag claims denied. Hashtag system approved. They found him? Yo, oh my God, police. This man right here. I'll have you know, he's got priors. He's got priors. Philadelphia suspect on the run. Dude, that looks exactly like him. Oh my God. Chat, you did it. Wow, I'm so proud of this community. This is how you know when you got 37,000 of the top minds, when they get together, we do it. We do the damn thing. We found him. NYPD, here he is. He's a Philadelphia native, okay? He goes by Benjamin, also known as BB. Please arrest this man. I know he has priors already. He has priors already, okay? Like some pretty bad crimes, actually, honestly, like mass starvation, like using starvation as a weapon. Think about that. Arrest him, please. Thank you. Another case closed.
Tied to a shooter, and then the escape route, you know, moving from Central Park and beyond. I'm not seeing much reporting on it yet. I'm hoping they can break that case open today.
Are you surprised they haven't caught him yet at this stage?
We have seen so many times in recent cases, Hoda, where they have closed in 24 hours. I expected overnight that there'd be more evidence about the escape route. I haven't seen it yet. I'm hopeful that sometime today we'll get more information.
Thank you, Clint. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. Fox News.
See, this is my shit. I want to hear what these fucking scumbags have to say. Because, like, the media loves stories like this because they love the clout. They're clout hungry. So they'll cover this, and in the process of covering it, like they will kind of glaze the shooter and stuff. But Fox News, I don't think they're going to say anything nice. They're going to be like, this disgusting scumbag needs to get the book thrown at him. He needs to be assassinated.
News alert at 19 minutes before the top of the hour. The suspect, man, screen left right there, in United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson's cold-blooded murder, still on the run at this hour. As new reports say, Thompson was one of several executives reportedly facing a Department of Investigation for insider trading. Here to discuss, we've got former federal prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Andrew Cherkasky. Andrew, thanks for making the trip out to Long Island.
Where the fuck are you guys getting PTSD when someone says top of the hour? I haven't done a top of the hour ad break in fucking weeks. Ever since my contract expired, I haven't figured out a new way to debate you into subscribing. And people miss it. It's so funny. You guys don't know what you got till it's gone, by the way. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. Yeah. You take the top of the hour ad break away and you put up a parking lot, dude. That's what I did. That's what I did. I paved paradise, top of the hour ad break, to put up a parking lot. Woo, pop, pop, pop. Yeah. Sex Haver, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I don't know what's happening today. Dude, when I'm in England, I'm in a weird ass mood. Champagne Cyclist, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Whispers, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. One healthcare CEO gets clapped, and I've never heard you sing this much on stream in 5+ years. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a sad day for America, okay? Monty Moon, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. I don't know why I'm smiling from ear to ear. It has nothing to do with that. That's so stupid. Why would you say that? I'm smiling to hide the pain. No one knows what it's like to be Brian. Is a trauma response. Yeah. We all grieve in our different ways, okay? We all grieve in our different ways. And I'm grieving right now. I'm grieving hard. You know what I'm saying? I'm so sad. Womack, thank you for the 5 get the subs. Is a sad laugh. Every time I laugh, is a laughter hiding the sadness. Paluki, thank you for the 5 get the subs.
When you watch the video, what does it look like to you?
It looks like somebody who's somebody trained in firearms, somebody who's capable of using it. He looks insensitive to the fact that he's killing somebody. So there's some degree of preparation, a lot of thought, and he was ready to do it. Whether that means he's a trained assassin, like some people are saying, perhaps it's a step short of that he just had practiced a lot with the firearm. But there is definitely a strong motive there. I think that what we see in that video is somebody who is very committed to following through with this crime. And so now there's all sorts of speculation about what that motive could have been, right, and whether that might lead us to actually finding him.
Okay, so that picture right there, I believe, is taken in a nearby Starbucks. And this was before the shooting. And the guy bought a couple of power bars and bought a water and got a cup. And so presumably there would be DNA on that. Obviously the cops have.
My bro had to stay hydrated, dude. What do you mean? He probably just wanted to go on a trek. I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is a random guy. He needed his prote. Bro was yak. He needed his prote. Long day of biking around New York City, bro.
Already hoovered up everything in that Starbucks. But if he is a trained killer, he's probably wearing gloves.
Well,
Oxford Union has blocked me from talking with you. Oxfordian Girls Convo blocked me from you. Oxfordian lad. Bruv, they wouldn't get off you? What are you talking about? I was the kid who was waiting outside. Okay, there was a lot of kids waiting outside. This does not help me understand who this person is, but I took photos with everyone that I could. Talk was amazing today. Nice to see you. Oh, you did get a photo. Okay, then what are you complaining about? Yeah, he's not. Okay, going back to the story, he's not even hiding his face. He's a COVID truther. COVID is still very much a thing, and he's taking precaution. You cannot get upset about this, okay? I'm being for real. You can't. It's fucked up. It is. Don't be shitty. No, I'm not saying it's not. I knew as soon as I said that, there were going to be some people who were going to get mad at me because they think I'm joking. I mean, I am joking. He's not masking up for COVID, but I'm not joking when I say COVID is real. Oh my God. What? I was the first guy you met at the meet and greet yesterday at Cambridge, the one who said you were mostly right. Chat said I was glazing, but you deserve it. Come at me, chat. Hell yeah. This does not look like the other photo. Like, the new photo that came out doesn't look like him at all.
Well, there's the probability that he might be wearing gloves, although we see in the video when he's holding the gun, it looks like he doesn't have that. So are they running that DNA? Are they actually getting something back? Or perhaps that's something in the garbage can that fella kind of was that disappeared. I'm most interested in the bike. He went to a bicycle, city bike, and whether there's tracking software on that to be able to figure out where that bike went. X has some people speculating about that, but I'm sure the police are deep into all of that on-ground canvassing and looking at every piece they can.
And as people get up on this Thursday morning, the latest tantalizing clues come from, I believe, the New York Post, where apparently on 3 of the shell casings, the 3 shell casings, there are the word, somebody has etched the word deny, depose, defend, which also happens to be probably a coincidence, maybe not, the name of a book about how insurance companies operate and how they essentially work to not pay you.
Right. So there's many motives that I think people are identifying as a possibility. Is this somebody who's disgruntled with United?
It's crazy. They're like, this Brian guy was a real piece of shit. He could have a lot of enemies. Okay. You don't understand. Okay. It could be a disgruntled former employee, says he sucked dick. Could be a former, patient. Could be a doctor who hated the process. Could be anybody, really, at this point. It's like we got 250 million minimum suspects here, okay? They all have some reasonable motives, as a matter of fact.
Healthcare because of a denied coverage, something along that line? Or is this somebody potentially connected to this DOJ investigation, worried that perhaps he had information that they didn't want released, or many other reasons? But if this is actually somebody who's put in a lot of thought and was kind of an assassin here, could it have been misdirection to write something on those bullets to make it look like somebody who had a problem with the insurance company but had a different motive instead? So there's a lot of different ways this can go. The police have to be very careful not to jump to conclusions to avoid not finding the actual suspect. They're canvassing as much as they possibly can and looking at every possibility.
Misdirection. I never thought of.
I don't get it. Why aren't they saying that it's a gay lover? Like with Paul Pelosi, they were quick to jump on that. With Paul Pelosi, they were like, "Oh, must be a gay lover." How come no gay lover? How come no gay lover theory? What's going on? It's the one shooter they're not transvestigating, dude. All of a sudden, definitely a man. I don't know. Could be anybody. Okay? I don't know what size this person is. I don't know what he looks like. How come y'all are so sure he's a man? You don't know. All of a sudden, one healthcare CEO gets shot, and everybody's Mr. Lawman over here. Everybody's taking it super seriously. Children get shot. Everyone's like, oh, it's got to be trans person. Healthcare CEO gets shot. Everyone's very serious with their news coverage. What happened? Let's wait for the facts. And by that, I mean, let's take a couple days off from this. Let's take a couple days off, maybe a couple weeks off from the manhunt. Let's put it aside and take a deep breath. And, maybe we'll get back to this with fresh eyes. All right?
Yeah, you have to be open to that.
Hey, look into the book. Maybe it's that kind of person. We don't know yet. Let's see if they catch him today. Andrew, thank you very much.
Hope so.
We have some breaking news that just came into our newsroom just a few minutes ago. State Comptroller Sean Scanlon says a controversial insurance policy will not be going into effect in our state. Yesterday, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield released information about a cap on anesthesia coverage, saying if the surgery extended past a time limit, it wouldn't be covered. Scanlon says that is not happening in our state. And Attorney General William Tong says that he's looking into the proposal as well.
United Healthcare? What did we do this time? A PET scan? No, we barely cover human scans. Listen, sir, you can talk about this Beta Island all you want. We're not going to approve a continuous glucose monitor.
This is from a year ago. Who else is watching after the CEO was clapped in New York City? Damn. Wait, this guy kind of looks like the guy.
It's too much monitoring. Yeah, Zofran requires a prior authorization. Well, if the chemotherapy causes nausea, then we'll talk. No, we can only approve 10 milligram tablets. And if your patient even thinks about splitting those in half, we will surprise bill the hell out of them. Okay, but the chest pain didn't end up being an emergency. I know you have evidence that says this patient needs a CT scan for cancer surveillance, but counterpoint, no. I'm just saying, I'm just saying maybe the brain tumor will go away on its own. Preventative health care. I understand you don't think.
His response?
Okay, so I have been tagged hundreds of times about this United Healthcare CEO murder. Usually when I get tagged this much, it's because somebody slept in their contacts or used Visine. Don't do those things, by the way. So this is different. First, let me just clear something up. Jimothy is innocent. He needs to stay gainfully employed. He would never do something like this. Also, two things can be true. One, that murder is bad, that even bad people who do bad things don't deserve to be executed. It's okay to think that. It can also be true that United Healthcare is an evil corporation that has caused pain and suffering.
Ooh, you would say that, Jimothy. I don't know. Seems suspicious.
To millions and millions of people over the years. This is a company that denies claims at a rate that's higher than every other insurer out there. They deny so many claims, they have to outsource claim denials to a company that gets paid per denial. This company is called EvaCore, by the way. United Healthcare has vertically integrated their company to the point where they can dictate which medications patients are allowed to be on, not doctors. This routinely leads to patients who are chronically ill, who are stable on a medication regimen for years, who all of a sudden have to change medications.
Bro did the OJ Simpson if I did it. Dude. This is the if I did it. I swear to God. He's like, listen, here are the many reasons as to why, I'm not losing sleep over this.
This is something that doesn't work, all because United Healthcare got a better deal from a pharmaceutical company. United Healthcare, or Optum's business strategy, is so anti-competitive that the FTC has sued them. And the CEO is the leader of this organization doing all of these terrible things. People are hurting. People are financially devastated by our healthcare system. They're not able to get the treatment that their doctors recommend. So it's not that hard to understand the social media reaction to this shooting, which I would describe as unsympathetic. All the jokes, all the snark about the shooting, it's all a coping mechanism for a population of people who feel powerless in our healthcare system. Who are any of us to tell people?
No way. They're flooding it with fake tips. Wait, what the fuck? Is this not working? Oh, God damn it. Come on. Let me have this for free. Okay. The authorities have been flooded with tips from all over the country, and each potentially credible one must be run, a senior law enforcement official said. Every question leads to 100 questions. This is a solid investigation, and I'm confident he's going to be an ex-client, ex-employee, or a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I don't think he's a conspiracy theorist, man. Like, I don't think this person is, like, hallucinating. I'd be shocked. Everyone in New York City that recognizes the CEO assassin. Oh my God, what if he was at the Timothy Chalamet lookalike competition before this? That's why he was in the city. They're saying he used a fake Jersey ID. Investigators released pictures of showing the face of the man. They believe Brian Thompson outside a Midtown hotel. They said the words delay and deny were written on bullet casings. Senior law enforcement officials said he used a fake New Jersey identification to book a room at a hostel on Manhattan's Upper West Side where he stayed before the killing. Police still have not made any arrests. I mean, he even had a fake ID. Dude, listen. I've talked about this before. Victimless crimes, you know what I think about that.
People how to react to this very unique situation. Now, is violence the answer? No, because I truly believe that there are far more effective ways at improving the healthcare system. And I'll tell you something that's been really encouraging to me over the last 24 hours. I've been making these healthcare related videos for years now, trying to educate people about the things that are going on in healthcare. And this is the first time where I've seen a lot of people, both in healthcare and outside of healthcare, actually discussing harmful health insurance policy. Take the Blue Cross Blue Shield a story about limiting the amount of anesthesia that can be given during a surgery. That story has gone viral all over all the platforms. There's major news organizations picking this up. And
silver linings, it's good. It's good to look at a silver lining in this situation, right? I mean,
May of 2023, my mom was suffering from late-stage cancer and staying in a rehab nursing facility while we tried to figure out what the next steps in her care plan were. We had a lot of very difficult choices to make when one more got added. A billing administrator at the nursing facility approached me to let me know that my mom's Aetna Medicare Advantage plan wouldn't cover her stay anymore. Our only options were to bring her home. She could barely walk and was on an IV drip, needing constant medical care, or to get rid of her Medicare Advantage plan and switch back to regular Medicare. The basic public plan would have paid for her continued stay. That didn't make sense to me. Medicare Advantage is a privatized add-on to Medicare that was supposed to provide better care. It ended up not mattering. She died before Aetna could throw her on the street like they wanted to. Medicare Advantage is just one part of our broken system, but I want to use it as an example of why things are so broken. You might think you already get it. The American healthcare system sucks and is far too expensive, but it's not just because it's not free. We're going to look at where all this money is actually going. How a surprisingly influential vinyl record drop from an unexpected artist helped get us here, and who we're now depending on to fix all of this. When you get old enough, 65, you're eligible for Medicare. Medicare has 4 parts, A, B, C, and D. All 4 parts make up about 10% of the federal budget. Medicare Part A is completely free. It's what you paid for in taxes for working all those years. It covers hospital visits. Medicare Part B is an optional add-on. It costs around $175 a month. It covers preventative care and necessary procedures. A and B are fully administered by the government, and the vast majority of their budget, that's taxpayer money and that monthly payment for Part B, are spent on actual care, 98.6%. The other 1.4% goes towards paying for the people who literally work for Medicare, processing paperwork and then there's Part C.
I just want to point out that the most comprehensive socialized healthcare coverage in this country outside of the veterans services is literally Medicare. And even that, you have to pay additionally $175 fucking dollars to get preventative care. This is the most cooked nation on earth, brother. The most cooked nation on the fucking planet. What's shocking is not that someone shot a CEO for a healthcare insurance company. What's shocking is that it hadn't happened before. Okay? We are so fucking cucked and so fucking cooked. Oh my Lord.
Medicare Part C is also called Medicare Advantage. It's an alternative to traditional Medicare that replaces Part A and B with one plan. Medicare Advantage is not administered by the government. It's administered by everyone's favorite entity, private insurance companies, who get paid by the federal government and a monthly fee from the elderly person being insured. Medicare Advantage is heavily advertised, using all of the elderly's favorite celebrities.
Hi, William Shatner here with an important message about your Medicare benefits.
The ads use Medicare branding to convince seniors these plans are more connected to real Medicare than they are. Images of healthy, active seniors, and promises of lower out-of-pocket payments and more coverage. They don't include important information like plan quality ratings or the other hard facts about coverage. They even go further and offer gift cards and other financial incentives to sign up, like a timeshare or something, which the elderly also love. Since my mom's gone, I have to help with a lot of my dad's healthcare. I've noticed that when I go to refill his prescriptions at CVS, which owns Aetna, the insurer, they have a little quiz, like an evil BuzzFeed, where you can determine what Medicare plan is right for you. And it seems like no matter what I input, it always gives me an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan. That's the same one my mom had when she was denied comfort and dignity in her final days. Care which, again, the basic Part A or Part B would have provided for her. And they want everyone on this plan. Imagine Medicare Advantage for all, where any hope of a more equitable plan is scrapped to funnel more money to the insurers. It's not just my family, obviously. Since the advent of Medicare Advantage as we know it today in 1986, the amount the United States spends on healthcare has more than quadrupled. Medicare Advantage and much of our modern healthcare problems exist because of not one, but 2 versions of Ronald Reagan. In the late 1950s, a fully government-funded healthcare plan for the elderly was actually a possibility. Congress saw 2 bills that put forth plans for national insurance programs for everyone receiving Social Security, the elderly, in exchange for a small increase to Social Security payments. Early versions of the bill saw the plan as mandatory, but an alliance between private insurers, the American Medical Association, and others who profited off the existing system, which was already predatory, did not want to see that happen. So they released a secret weapon, Operation Coffee Cup. A key element of the campaign was this vinyl record. The AMA drafted who was then just a young actor to record Ronald Reagan Speaks Out Against Socialized Medicine. The record was sent out to doctors' wives. It was 1961, okay?
Yo, comically evil. Ronald Reagan took a paycheck from every corporation before he became this fucking... Before he became... Again, another puppet for corporations by becoming the president. But like, directly as an actor, he did this shit as well.
Play for their friends to convince them not to support the healthcare bills, like a Tupperware party for predatory privatized medicine. The record attacked the plans for being controlling.
And pretty soon, your son won't decide when he's in school where he will go or what he will do for a living. He will wait for the government to tell him where he will go to work and what he will do.
And implored the wives to contact their congressmen to fight the bill.
If you don't, this program, I promise you, will pass just as surely as the sun will come up tomorrow. And behind it will come other federal programs that will invade every area of freedom as we have known it in this country. Until, one day, as Norman Thomas said, we will awake to find that we have socialism.
Reagan mocked advocates of the bill.
They say, what would you do? Throw these poor old people out to die with no medical attention? That's ridiculous, and of course, no one has advocated it.
I don't know, Ronnie. That sounds a lot like what happened to my mom. A version of the healthcare bills did pass, creating something similar.
Like, America is not
to the Medicare
only evil. Today. America is not only evil, but it's also like comically evil.
But with an important change. It wasn't mandatory. That left a lot of power with private insurers. Then, as president, Reagan signed the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, which made a few changes to that existing Medicare program. Importantly, it made it legal for Medicare to contract with private insurance companies. So in the 60s, actor Reagan gave the industry the gift of making Medicare optional. And then in the 80s, President Reagan gave them access to even the folks who were on the government plan. That bill allowed for the creation of Medicare Part C, which eventually became Medicare Advantage in 1996. Since then, we see a lot of the same arguments about why privatized insurance and healthcare is better than public. They said a government plan would be more expensive. They said it would destroy choice and give worse quality of care. And they dropped what was the scariest word of that century, communism. Universal healthcare would be using your tax dollars to support other people, they warned. Medicare Advantage, specifically, shows why each of those arguments is total bullshit. One is the expense. Does Medicare Advantage, adding privatization to a public plan, save anyone money? Well, no, it's costing taxpayers way more. Most estimates find that Medicare Advantage plans cost the taxpayer between $300 and $1,400 more per patient than traditional Medicare. And that's when the plan's working as intended. One study found that just the amount of corrupt overcharges that Medicare Advantage charges the system costs taxpayers more money than all normal Medicare programs combined. In the next few years, Americans are expected to pay nearly $1 trillion in taxpayer money for overpayments. That brings us to choice and quality of care. If it's that expensive, it must be better, right? No. Medicare Advantage denied more prior authorization requests and more necessary care than Medicare, especially in rural hospitals. And this study reads, nearly 15% of the 5.6 million denials, that's a full $150 million in denied spending, was attributed to Medicare Advantage policies that were more restrictive than traditional Medicare's coverage rules. Medicare Advantage provided demonstrably less care than normal Medicare. That's exactly what I saw with my mom. She needed a place to stay with medical assistance while we planned for her cancer care. Aetna Medicare Advantage said no, whereas normal Medicare would have said yes. And they're also more restrictive in where you get your care. Medicare Advantage plans often have a much smaller network of in-network doctors than regular. And the government control thing? Well, guess which health system in the United States has the best customer satisfaction? Veterans Affairs. Vets are very satisfied with their VA healthcare, and that's a totally government-run program. They deserve great care, but it's proof that even in America, government care can work. And then there's the whole communism thing. The critics ask, why should my tax dollars go to support someone else? Well, with Medicare Advantage, they are supporting someone else. Remember that stat from earlier, that the actual administration of Medicare is only 1.4% of the cost? For Medicare Advantage, it's 10 times that, 15%. And that's in large part due to executive salaries and profit margins. Because this is a for-profit business that needs to make a profit. Sure, government programs can see corruption or incompetence, but if everything works as it's meant to, their purpose is to serve you. The purpose of private insurers is to profit off of you. That can come at the cost of providing you less care or overcharging you, either through premiums or tax dollars. Medicare Advantage isn't the only problem in our healthcare system, obviously, but the many failures of the program are emblematic of what a privatized system looks like compared to a public one.
Yeah, the more I see tax dollars going to Medicare, the more I realize it could be going to Israel instead. So I think we should just cut it, honestly.
Costs aren't rising because of any technological or other miracle advances that are saving lives. Between 1999 and 2021, the average cost of a hospital stay in America increased 161.7%, far outpacing inflation, without any significant increase in life expectancy. And that's for all the same reasons Medicare Advantage is broken. For-profit companies have devised ways to skim more and more money off of the ill and the taxpayer. We have a new administration coming in, led by a man who is supposedly the master of negotiation. But as of now, regular Medicare can't negotiate with healthcare providers, while the for-profit version can. If President Trump really wants to help Americans and has the power of the art of the deal, shouldn't he be getting us deals where we, the people, pay less for our healthcare, both as patient and as taxpayer? And then there's Elon Musk's new Department of Government Efficiency that promises to cut trillions of dollars in government spending. Senator Rick Scott is one of the Congress members who's sitting on a new Senate caucus that's going to be advising DOJ, sorry, I can't say that with a straight face, on where to make trims. What sort of cuts would someone like Scott, whose company had to pay a $1.7 billion fine for defrauding Medicare and Medicaid, possibly recommend? And wouldn't the best way to save taxpayer money be to cut out the corporate profiteers transferring your money to their pockets? Contractor profits are the tax that we spend the most on and get the least out of. Replacing Medicare Advantage with a fully nationalized program for everyone, not just the elderly who opt in, would help with all of this. It would take negotiating power away from the healthcare companies, as they'd only have one customer, and it would cut out the opportunities for corporate profit to siphon money away from taxpayers and people who need healthcare. But so far, it's not looking good. President Trump's pick for running Medicare, Dr. Mehmet Oz, has long been a proponent of Medicare Advantage for all, taking the popular language of real healthcare access advocates and using it to push for a fully for-profit system, with all of those problems I outlined above, enriching greedy insurers at the cost of everyone else.
Oh my God, we're gonna get Medicare for all, but for profit. Oh my God. Oh my God, Americans are so stupid. We're such a stupid country. We're so fucking cooked.
My mom wouldn't have survived even if Medicare Advantage were better. She was far too sick when she first went to the hospital. I don't blame her death on their greed. But seeing how easily they denied her care on the supposedly better plan when the normal government plan would have taken care of her made me very angry. And that's a rage that the incoming administration needs to take straight to the insurers, to the healthcare providers, and to all of the profiteers if they aim to keep the promises they made to all of us.
So cooked. What is this?
Drew, and I am in fact a practicing attorney, although admittedly I could have chosen a different shirt to lend me an air of professional gravitas. For absolutely no reason whatsoever, I'd like to talk to you about a little thing called jury nullification. Jury nullification is when a jury in a criminal trial gives a verdict of not guilty, even though they believe that the defendant has broken the law and is guilty. Now, why would a jury choose to do this? Several reasons. Maybe they believe that the law the defendant has broken is unjust. Maybe they believe that the punishment for breaking that law is too harsh. Or maybe they are seeking to condone a defendant's actions, even though those actions are criminal and have broken the law. Now, there are three things to keep in mind when it comes to jury nullification. Number one, a jury cannot be punished for giving an incorrect verdict, even if that jury has intentionally given an...
I'll never believe a Chiefs fan.
Incorrect verdict. Number two, under the rules of double jeopardy, a defendant cannot be tried twice for the same offense. And number three, jury nullification is a thing in every jurisdiction in the United States, including...
Yeah, what are they going to do? Jury selection be like, have you ever been denied a claim? Good luck. They're not going to find a jury. Yeah, what are your feelings about healthcare? It doesn't make sense.
And again, for absolutely no reason whatsoever, New York City.
The FBI just raided.
Damn, this shit has got fucking motion, dude.
I would say the most bizarre.
What is this? Oh.
So I got another question for you. Do you recognize this photo?
Pee.
Yes, sir, I do. Okay. Is that the remembrance of September 11th?
It was.
Was it in New York?
It was at Ground Zero.
Okay. Who's usually at an event like this closest to the President of the United States, security-wise?
The SAC of the detail.
Special agent in charge of the detail. Were you the special agent in charge of the detail that day?
Actually, let me address this. Could you please, staff, leave that? Oh, no, leave that one up with the circle around me. Thank you. So actually, Congressman, what you're not seeing is the SAC of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman.
were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret Service
that's a bunch of
member
horse hockey.
that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you're trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
And you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question.
Please. You are out of line, Congressman.
Don't try to bully me. I am an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you are playing
politics. I am a public servant who has served this nation, and
you won't answer the question.
On our day, on our country's darkest day.
Committee will come to order.
Committee will come to order.
I'm asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that day?
No, I wasn't. I was there representing the United States Secret Service, sir.
Mr. Fallon, your time's
did not affect protective operations.
You know why you were there? Because you wanted to be visible, because you are auditioning for this job.
I was there to pay respect for a fallen member of this agency.
You endangered President
out of line,
Biden's
Congressman.
Vice President Harris's life, because you put those agents out of position.
Mr. Chairman.
Did you have a radio with you?
Mr. Fallon, your time has
expired. You have a weapon?
I did, sir, and you are out of line.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
What the fuck happened? Like what? I was pissing and I started I heard the thumbness coming out of this man.
Secret Service member where we remember the more. Actually, let me address this. Could you please, staff, leave that? Oh no, leave that one up with the circle around me. Thank you. So actually, Congressman, what you're not seeing is the SAC of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman.
Were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect for a Secret Service member that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you're trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
This is amazing. He started talking about how he was fucking picking dead bodies out of the ash of the World Trade Center, dude. What the fuck? He's like, I got you.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question.
Please. You are out of line, Congressman.
Don't try to bully me. I am an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you are playing politics.
I am a public servant who has served this nation, and you
won't answer the question.
On our day, on our country's darkest day.
Committee will come to order.
Damn. He used the 9/11 defense, dude. It was very effective. He said, you do not get to invoke 9/11. That's my day.
Committee will come to order.
I'm asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that day?
No, I wasn't. I was there representing the United States Secret Service, sir.
Mr. Fallon, your time's expired.
Did not affect protective operations.
You know why you were there? Because you wanted to be visible, because you were auditioning for this job.
I was there to pay respect for a fallen member of this agency.
You endangered President Biden's life, Vice President Harris's life, because you put those agents out of position.
Mr. Chairman.
Did you have a radio with you?
Mr. Fallon, your time has expired. Mr.
I did, sir, and you are out of line.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'm not kidding. I think he's not wrong. Like, it doesn't really matter, but he probably wanted to like be up front, and that's the reason why he's getting yelled at. And he got caught. Like, he's making a bigger deal out of it, obviously.
Please.
But
we are back in order now. We are back in order now. Thank you.
On Capitol Hill today, the acting Secret Service director is acknowledging that the agency failed to secure the Pennsylvania rally site where a gunman tried to assassinate.
yeah, it's a congressional hearing about the shooting of Donald Trump. But this guy's like pulling that up specifically to be like, you're fucking fake.
Assassinate President-elect Donald Trump back in July. Ronald Rowe is appearing before the bipartisan task force investigating that shooting, which is set to release its final report today. Rowe says that disciplinary measures at the Secret Service are still being doled out. Take a listen.
There will be accountability, and that accountability is occurring. It is an extensive review that requires time to ensure due process. And the pace of this process, quite frankly, it does frustrate me. But it is essential that we recognize the gravity of our failure. I personally carry the weight of knowing that we almost lost a protectee, and our failure cost a father and husband his life.
The acting director outlined several changes being implemented at the Secret Service, including mandating a unified command center at protection sites to help coordinate communications, expanding the use of unmanned aerial systems like drones to help observe venues and prevent attacks, and adding more staffing to Trump's Secret Service detail. We have with us former Secret Service agent and CNN law enforcement analyst Jonathan Wackrow. Jonathan, thank you so much for being with us and offering your perspective today. I want to ask you about today's hearing. It's the conclusion of a 5-month-long investigation. What stood out to you?
Well, listen, I think that what stands out to me is that there are a lot of ideas that are being presented. The acting director is literally laying out things that need to be done and implemented quickly to bring the agency back up to a position, a readiness level where it can address the threat environment that it faces. But here's the challenge right now. We have a change of administration. Challenge number one. Challenge number two is that this is the acting director, right? So his longevity in that role is questionable. And three, a lot of the senior leadership positions of the Secret Service are either have individuals that are net new to that role, or they are vacant. So from the Secret Service standpoint, how do you set the right strategy, long-term strategy right now under those conditions? Can you actually implement this change that is necessary to meet the mission readiness against the threat?
I want to point out something that I just saw that I think is really fucking funny. Okay, it's especially funny for me because it's like, this is a person with a fucking like the red triangle on their account. This is Hasan, another Hasan. There are many of them on the planet. I am not the only Hasan. He posted this saying, white person discovers other people are named Hasan. Remember when you said that it's okay for rich women to be raped? Okay, this is what this person with a red triangle is saying to Hasan. Hasan says, are you fucking insane? I never said anything along those lines. Maybe you didn't mean it in that way, but there's a video where you say something that sounds quite similar, ... Says, don't be throwing around insane ass allegations like that, you freak. Don't be fucking mean to me. Drew Pavlov, a person with a red triangle posting a Drew Pavlov clip. Rape is good if it occurs at wealthy colleges. Hasan responds, I'm not even the same Hasan, what the fuck? I'm going to kill myself. I'm so sorry. This is embarrassing. It's literally me saying that in a conversation about anti-woke college campuses that Republicans are volunteering to go to, me saying jokingly that it would be utilitarian if all the rapists were contained to that fucking college campus instead of all the other college campuses. And to this fucking day, they still literally will go, Hasan wants wealthy women to be raped. I swear to God, it doesn't matter what your political background is. It's just like, if you're fucking mentally ill and you become a HasanAbi hater, you're just going to go down that pathway of just being increasingly more mentally ill every fucking day. Okay? And it's so funny because like you throw your allegiances aside. If you have a red triangle, that means you're like super pro Palestine. You know what I mean? Like it's the red triangle that invokes the red triangle that like were originally used in the Hamas videos on top of IDF soldiers. So a person like that posting a fucking unironic Drew Pavlov clip without even examining it is so stupid to me. Also, I want to apologize to Jackson Hinkle. This is the one apology that I will be delivering to the American Communist Party, specifically Jackson Hinkle. I don't know what the fuck he did, but I heard that he bullied Drew Pavlov off Twitter. This is the one olive branch. I still think you might be a Fed. I don't know. But, you know, broken clock. Critical support. My wife saw that dude from the Cambridge Union mess meetup and asked if he was unwell. Normies know these dudes are freaks. That's why I like the Cambridge Union combos, because these people on Twitter are anonymous, so you don't fucking see how mentally ill they are. But in the real world, when they bring up this shit, in the real world, when they fucking become, you know, openly hysterical in the same exact way when they're panting and screaming, you can tell how freak-like they are. Okay? Bro, my grandpa just sent me this. They got you on Newsmax. Newsmax. Don't do that. He posted AI porn of Drew's mom. Wait, what? Okay. I didn't know he did that. That's really fucked up. That's insane. Okay, my bad. My bad. That's psychotic. That is psychotic. Holy shit. I don't follow any of this shit. I don't know. I just heard that he bullied Drew Pavlov off Twitter, and I was like, that's not the worst thing that happened to the world. It wasn't porn. What was it? Yeah, the other Hassan is also pro Palestine too. I know. What? Thinks it's okay to rape rich women, complains about sexual assault? Wait, what? What? I just don't understand. They unironically think you're pro SA? No, they don't. You want to know why I know they don't? Because if they legitimately thought I was pro sexual assault, they would be fans of mine. Okay? It's always like Groiper Himmler 13, Groiper Himmler 1488, who like will literally be like constantly talking about how he wants to fucking rape women and kill them and shit. If they genuinely thought it was pro sexual assault, they'd be fans of mine. They wouldn't be fucking falsely claiming that is what I'm into. That's the difference. You were incredible at Oxford. People next to me became new fans. Hell yeah. What? What is this? Oh, Hawk to a pump and dump. We're going to cover that. Don't worry. What time is it there? Fucking late, dude. It's late as hell over here. Do you miss Kaya yet? Yes, a lot. Well, I'm going to see her tomorrow. My little lady. What a string of words you just said. Okay, well, let me read a string of words that is even worse. Sell that thing. Hawk to a girl faces pump and dump allegations of crypto coin collapses hours after launch. It's done. It's over, dude. Yo, how the fuck do people still get involved in crypto coins, dude? How is that possible? How is that fucking possible, man? Apparently, CoffeeZilla made a video on it, so I'm going to take a look at it.
Today, we're breaking down the Hawk to a scam, exactly how it happened, and I'm going to confront the people behind it. Well, I did last night.
Dude, how the fuck does CoffeeZilla get to interview all these people that he's investigating for scamming? Like, is it because he gets like millions of views or something? Like, I don't understand. Are people just like that clout hungry? Are they just like, there's no repercussions for it, so you might as well fucking, benefit from it? I genuinely don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. He literally will investigate somebody, and then he'll just be able to talk to them too directly in the video. It's impressive.
And let me just say, it didn't go very well.
Happy to answer any
I have questions. I have questions. I'm raising my hand. Hey guys.
What CoffeeZilla?
Hey, this is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the fuck are you on?
Profiting from the rug pull, I think it's relevant.
We didn't pull a rug. I don't know what you're trying to say. It's not true. That's defamation.
Doc,
You're saying
do the math. Do the math.
Defamation. You're saying that we pulled a rug. There was no rug pull.
3%.
You're defaming our character.
Are you not?
Hi, Haley Welch. My $35,000 that I purchased of Hawk is now $2,000 after 10 minutes of buying. I'm a huge fan of Hawk Tua, but you took my life savings? No. It's got to be fake, bro. It's got to be fake. No one has ever said those words. No one has ever said, I'm a huge fan of Hawk Tua, but you took my life savings. Like, no. You want people to believe this. Yeah, no, it's fake. This is fake. No, this one's not real. I purchased your coin hawk you were so excited about with my life savings and children's college education fund as well. No. It is definitely a rug pull though. They did that. And at this point, if you're like getting invested in an influencer coin, like you're a fucking idiot, dude. I'm sorry. Like you kind of deserve it. Like you're not a 90-year-old that got conned into going into like a old folks home, and now they're just like fucking milking what remains of your assets and keeping you alive, but only barely for as long as they can. You know what I mean? Like that's not like those people are vulnerable. Like their brains are not working that well. You are supposed to be like, you know, a regular ass adult. Like you have no, like you should have a little bit. Yeah, I'm victim blaming, dude. This is like too stupid. It's like a child that you tell not to touch the pan because it's hot, and then he just fucking slaps it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta touch the pan. And the worst part about it is these are usually children that have touched the pan over and over again, and they keep touching it. Not that one guy, but obviously people bought it. Like people still went and bought it enough to get fucking rug pulled. You're like a kid that touched the pan, your hand burned, and then you touched it immediately again. Your hand burned again. And then you went to your friend's house and you were like, I'm going to touch your pan too. I just like touching pans. At a certain point, I'm going to be like, all right, fuck it. Put your face on that shit. Okay? Fuck it. Kiss the pan, I guess. You know, I can't stop you. You dumb fuck. You stupid ass fucking baby.
Are you not going to let me talk? You just talk over me. You talk over me.
I'm hearing bullshit.
Yeah, these people were completely unhinged, unwilling to take any accountability, and we'll talk more to them in a second, but I want to break down the hawk to a scam. I think people are confused with this kind of stuff. I want to start with the big tweet that kind of set it all off. That would be this by Bubble Maps, which showed 96% of the supply was controlled by the team and was being sent out to a bunch of smaller wallets. The implication being that some of them might be dumping on you. Pretty quickly, the hawk to a girl came in to copy and paste what her team told her to say, which said, team hasn't sold one token and not one key opinion leader was given one free token. We tried to stop snipers as best we could through high fees at the start of the launch. And so you see their awful tokenomics here. Along with this response, the team hasn't sold one token. And then they post, obviously, a screenshot of a lot of sells from insiders who did not have to pay. You can see on the bot side, there's nothing. And then on the sold side, they're making a lot of money. So how did you get free tokens? Well, you were an insider, right? And I just want to show you exactly how the hawk to a team is sort of lying by omission here.
Someone said Dick Spitter Girl. Yeah, literally. That's a franchise now, bitch. This is a girl that literally got viral fame because she said, Haktua, spit on that thing on a fucking TikTok clip. And then I don't know what happened. Like, this is one of those things where it just happened completely outside of, like, it happened in an entirely separate plane of existence to myself. Like, I don't know. I talked about this before, but I was like, this is so outside of my field of interest. Like, I even, you know, might have been a little mean at the time where I was like, if you like that kind of stuff, like, I kind of think you're stupid, which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it because, like, I'm a stupid guy myself, but, like, even as a stupid guy, I think you're a little bit stupider than me. You know what I mean? It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but, like, that's peak coworker humor shit. And I feel like if you're really invested in those memes, like, you know, you're a little stupid. You're a little dumb guy. It's fine. But whatever. What? He pulled the mask down because he was flirting? Wow. Per John Miller's and among the interviews law enforcement has been conducting, they spoke to a female employee at the hostel who said at one point she asked the then masked man to lower his mask while flirting with him, which is then why this photo was released to the NYPD. He's so sick. That isn't the guy. He's clearly wearing a different coat. Chat, this is, you know, he has multiple codes. Like, most people have multiple codes. Okay? I just, no, he doesn't. It's not him. I don't agree either. I don't agree that this is him. I don't. Also, Caitlin Collins follows me. What the fuck? Sick. I'm making inroads at CNN. Shooter could be a girl. Lol.
Literally almost had a heart attack because why do I look like the United Healthcare CEO shooter?
Yeah, I mean, could be anybody, really. Man, woman, anything, really. Honestly, I agree.
They say the team hasn't sold one token, and that's because they pre-sold the tokens, guys. They sold them to a bunch of investors with a pre-sale, and then those people were unlocked immediately upon launch. So you can see that with her tokenomics here. It says Haley's locked for 12 months, but you can see the strategic allocation is fully unlocked immediately on token generation event. Now, I spoke to some people who bought into this pre-sale. They say they got in at $16.69 million total valuation, which means that if they sold out the whole 17%, you're looking at about $2.8 million raised by pre-selling these tokens. So it is essentially a lie to say her team didn't sell tokens. Well, they pre-sold them, and then those investors dumped on your fans. That's the problem. Because Bubble Map says we found 285 investors join the Hawk pre-sale. That's about what I saw.
Dude, that's crazy. It's just like, it quite literally is just a scam. Like you're running, oh my God. They literally are running derivatives on how much they can get away with scamming. Like the value of this token, the evaluation of this token is like, how hard can we scam the fan base? And then they take it to other people and they're like, yeah, there you go. It's going to be $2.8 million worth at least. Is this not illegal? Bro, nothing is illegal.
Well, 89 wallets sold 100% on launch. 47 sold over 50%. Anyway, you can see in total, $3.3 million were sold. Again, as you'll see, on mostly Haley Welsh's fans, or Hawk to a Girl's fans. And I know what you're thinking. Who falls for this? Well, unfortunately, with situations like this, they're not targeting crypto bros. They're mostly targeting, like, actual fans who've never been involved in the crypto space before. They don't know any better. And you're going to hear the guy behind a lot of this say that explicitly.
These are people that are outside of crypto that we're going to be onboarding, and they don't give a shit. They don't even know what a market cap is. They just go, oh, cool, free coin. Now I get to join a community. Cool, done.
Not only did they say it, they sold it in a pitch deck. You can see the Hawk deck here. Massive onboarding event. Hawk will onboard normies. So that's why I just don't buy this thought of, oh, well, if you bought this, you deserve to get scammed. Okay, fine. But a lot of the people who bought it had never bought crypto before. They were targeting those people.
Yeah, I mean, they're still stupid, though, like, honestly. Because just because you never bought crypto before doesn't change the reality that, like you've seen it. Please, are there still people at this point that haven't understood that this is always a fucking scam? Like, come on, man. It was called Hawk to a coin. Fuck. I think the real meta now is to just like farm dumb people over and over again. I guess the other version of that is called becoming a right-wing content creator. Because honestly, right-wing content creators show admiration and unconditional loyalty and love. Left-wing dumbasses, on the other hand, do the shit that I just showed you, the one from the Hasan account. Like, idiots on the right are like, oh, I don't care. I love Haktua. She'll never hurt me. If she did, she didn't mean to. Left-wing stupid people are like, every single person that I like is actually technically a cynical maniac, actually. Every single person that I'm ideologically aligned with is secretly invested in, promoting the rape of rich women or something. It's like, the fuck's wrong with you, stupid ass? Why the fuck do you think that? Use your fucking brain, dumbass. Use your brain. I don't know if you're aware of this, but a scammer won the presidential election. Yeah, that's true. That's why it's so much better to fucking... That's why it is so much better to just be a right-winger, honestly. There are like 3 newsworthy scams a fucking year. No, there's a lot more of them. 3 of them at least make it into mainstream, though. Like 3 of them make it into mainstream. If you are, on its face, if you're going out and buying a coin called Haktua coin, Defended that dumb, cynically deployed rape clip on Tumblr against someone I see constantly yelling at people in the comments of posts. Lamau, there's who falls for it. That's what I mean. Those are the fucking dummies of the left. Okay, baby leftists. Their heart is poison. Their heart is dark. It's filled with darkness, where they're so gullible and so susceptible to assuming impurities. You know what I mean? At least they're not falling for fucking crypto coins, though. If she wasn't already a curiosity, this wouldn't have nearly as much motion. Brother, it's called Haktua coin. I don't know what to tell people. Like, bro, this is so far beyond timeshares. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if a timeshare was called, like, you know, the shit paradise. Okay. You'd be like, I don't know if I want to buy into the shit paradise timeshare. Okay. It's kind of giving me a reason not to invest in this timeshare. It's called shit paradise. Kind of odd. You know what I mean? It's dick spittle. Okay. Hawk to a coin. I'm going to spit on your penis coin. That's the coin that you're like, this is my big ticket to victory. This is it. I'm going to the moon with this one. Do you see what I mean? Like, scam. You could just be like, it's a scam coin. And people will be like, oh, I love it. I'm going to scam other people. That's what you mean, right? It's like, no, dumbass. You're the one being scammed. Oh, yes. The gamble is to pull out during the pump. Most people think they're smart enough to fuck someone else over. Yeah, it's not going to happen, though.
Said as much in our call. Now, the other part of this scam that I really need to break down because people don't understand it exactly is the fee scam, okay? When this launched, they had 15% fees on trading. They said that this was to stop snipers. But basically what this means, and because the team now blames snipers for a lot of this rug pull, but what it means is they benefited the entire way. You can see in 24 hours, they made almost $2 million from this fee. Meanwhile, on Dex Screener, you can see the sniper, which is the #1 trader on this coin. They made about $1.3 million in their total profits and loss. So they actually made less in total profits, this sniper that ruined the project, than the team made on fees. I, of course, asked who benefited. Did Hawk to a Girl make the money? Who made the money in this whole thing? And they essentially dodged the question. Who's making millions of dollars on fees from this rug pull?
That's not a scheme. That's the
Who's making fees?
So we can keep this thing going for years. Okay, that's how do you think? There's so many.
This guy kind of sounds like Jay Schlatt a little bit. Nah, so we can keep Hawk to a coin for years, man. You don't understand. Hawk to a coin is gonna be used to buy groceries. You're gonna be fucking idiot. You're gonna be so stupid when you realize that people are buying their fucking regular daily items with the Hawk to a coin. Dumbass. Fucking stupid ass. Bitch. Yeah, dog, I bought a car with that shit.
Who makes the money on the fees? Someone just made over $1 million on fees. Who made it?
First of all, the fees were there with Meteora pools, and that goes to, yes, the creator, right?
Which is who? Who does that own? Who does that belong to?
That belongs to the project.
Who's the project? Who is the project?
Well, the project is over here, Haley Welch, right? And
how much does Haley Welch own?
This is Haley Welch's project.
So she owns all of it.
CoffeeZilla.
I'm just trying to figure out who owns it.
You know how much it costs for lawyer fees to create a foundation in the Cayman Islands, to hire directors? You think this stuff pays for itself? You know, this is how you run a project forever, is you...
Yo, this guy sound like, I mean, he's not even trying to make it seem like he's not a scammer.
Is you have to fund that. First of all, over here can speak to the extensive amount of work and time and people that are on this project. Over here has around 18 people working on this right now as we speak. This is not a small time type of nothing. We're really trying to do something here and not just do it for one day and do it for 2 days.
So who made the money? You haven't answered the question. Who made the money? How much did Haley Welch make of that million, 1.8 million?
It's a foundation that is running this project.
How much does she own of it?
It's a foundation. She owns zero of the foundation.
So y'all made the money?
No, I don't own the foundation either. A foundation.
Brother, who profited over $1 million? Which
he's just like, we just put it somewhere. I don't know. I won't tell you. Yeah, we put it under the rug. We don't know. We have no access to the money. You know, it's just whatever, dude. Shut up.
Just made
you a foundation that pays people out. And by the way, CoffeeZilla, I'm not asking you, questions that are irrelevant to the most important stuff that you said. Who cares where fees go? It goes to bills.
You heard him right. Who cares where millions of dollars went? Supposedly, they have 18 people working on the Hawk to a meme token. So I don't know if that's true, but that's at least what they're claiming. Now, the last thing I need to say before we jump into this context that you need is that there are 4 groups to look out for here. 1, you have Hawk to a Girl, who is promoting this thing. 2, you have this guy, Doc Hollywood.
Oh my God, dude. What are these people? What are these people? Oh God, all the villains of society are so fucking lame now. Not a cool villain, not a single cool villain out there.
Who is like Howie Mandel's like son-in-law or something like that. Like he's this guy who has some connections in Hollywood, and he seems to be the guy connecting Hawk to a Girl with crypto, and he said he was teaching her a meme coin class, okay? And he goes unhinged on her call. 3, you have the guys running the crypto token, and 4, you have the insiders who paid money to get early access to this coin and then are rug pulling a lot of Haley Welsh's fans. What you want to make of that, who you exactly want to assign blame to, is up to you. A lot of people are saying, oh, she didn't know any better. She's getting taken advantage of. Maybe, or maybe she's making a ton of money, talking about Hawk to a Girl. So with that said, I just want to show you the call last night. That is what I knew going into this call, and you'll see my questions target some of these different aspects of what I believe to be a scam in this call. And the last thing I have to say is that when they did do this call, they monologued for like 12 to 15 minutes before they let anyone up. So I was extremely frustrated by the time I got up. I think you'll hear a little bit of that in my voice. Not only that, this Doc Hollywood guy called people mentally ill. He said that people should be thanking him or kissing his butt, basically, for doing this for them, as if he's doing them a favor. Basically, generally berating the people who had maybe lost money in this. And so quite frustrating to go into. And, anyway, enjoy.
Everyone thinks that, everything's a rug. Everything's a rug. Everyone's here to you. Nah, we're here to onboard real people outside of this spaces, right? The people here, you guys are already y'all are ahead every day thinking everything's a scam. And you know what? You guys are right. Everything is a scam, but not this. Not this. We did not.
This guy really believes in the Hawk to a coin. Why are you in the UK? Brother, look at my fucking title. Oxford Wrapped. Why am I in the UK? Because I escaped America, okay? Because I want to live in a country and experience the nationalized healthcare system before they completely collapse it. Okay, that's why. Or maybe because I came here because I was invited to speak at both the Cambridge Union and also the Oxford Union, two very important halls of debate. They onboarded these people, all right. Yeah, I guess they really did. They onboarded them to, I guess, understand how scammy this shit is, you know?
Not spend 6-7 months of our lives dedicated to trying to do something cool, right? To do something different, not dumping on you, not bundle snipes. Not 100% of the liquidity or whatever was bundle sniped by the team and propped up charts. You guys are not the target audience. Sorry to say, right? This is not the target audience.
Who's he talking to?
The target audience, which is why I'm even doing this, which is what's cool about it, is it's not in this spaces. And listen, most of you, we don't want you in the community. Let's be real, right? You're not great people. I don't know y'all, right? I see some friendly faces in this audience.
He's having a meltdown.
You know, I'm going to say y'all, you guys, right? There's a lot of negativity in the space. I think crypto brings the mentally ill into this thing, right? If you guys are in crypto, you're most likely mentally ill. And I'm going to count myself as mentally ill for even being here right now. We're trying to actually have fun. We're trying to do something cool. We're trying to give meme tokens away for free to people who have never had any crypto before, any meme token. And you guys should be kissing my ass because I'm trying to do something dope.
Yeah, so that's how all of this started. I had watched as people got wrecked on chain, and then I go here in the actual space that's supposed to address everything, a guy berating everyone, calling them mentally ill and telling them they should be thanking him. And that's what led to sort of my attitude when I went up on stage. Also, Twitter Spaces is horrible for doing this kind of work. I normally wouldn't choose it, but all these guys seem to love Twitter Spaces. I don't know why. The problem is people filibuster. So
Because they're fucking stupid, CoffeeZilla. That's why. That's it. That's the other thing. These are exactly the profile of the type of people that fucking call like Twitter X. You know what I mean? Another thing where when I hear that, I also think less of you a little bit, just a little bit. Okay? Just a little bit. Like, no disrespect if you do that because you're like, I don't know, a process nerd where you're like, I'm sorry, the name changed legally. It's X now or whatever. But like, it's just, you know, I don't even do the X the everything app meme because like I don't want to even come across like someone who's ironically calling it X. But yeah, it's just like the profile of the dumbest people on the planet. Just like love crypto, listen to all the fucking Manosphere podcasts, calls Twitter X, Elon Dick Rider, loves meme coins.
I know I interrupted a lot. That's because you can't let these people go run off on like 10-hour explanations, which they will do if you let them. So, yeah, anyway, here's when I got up on the space.
Happy to answer any
I have
questions.
questions. I have questions. I'm raising my hand. Hey, guys.
What CoffeeZilla?
Hey,
man.
this is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the fuck are you on?
I've been tracing it on.
Get his ass, Haley Welch, Hawk to a girl. Get his ass, girl. You spit on his face. You spit on that thing, and now you spit on her face. Oh, I love Hawk to her. She got funny accent.
Chain for a while. You guys generated over $1 million in fees.
I low-key feel about Hawk Tua the way fucking Michael feels about the Big Boom, Big Justice, and the Sun, AJ. M-Hud, you know how he has this like inappropriate anger and hatred for AJ and Big Justice? That's how I feel about Haley Welch. Like, and she ain't do nothing. I don't think she did anything wrong, except for this rug pull. But even then, like, I've just been a day one. It just makes me viscerally mad when I think about this person existing. Like, I know deep down inside, maybe it's a little too much, you know? Deep down inside is definitely a bit much that I feel this way. But like, I mean, it's Dick Spitter coin, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, the fuck?
While y'all's fans got rug pulled, there was snipers, but there was also insider trading directly linked to y'all's creator account. What are you guys doing?
No. That's not true.
That is true. That's a fact.
No, it's not.
Well, it's a fact, and you can see it on chain. So
Yeah, we know. We trust me. We were there. We could answer that.
you
No
know about the insider trading?
No, there's no insider trading. That's why we can answer it.
Okay, so there's tokens
CoffeeZilla,
going directly from the main account,
CoffeeZilla, just chill for a second.
and then it's getting sold for 50K. Who is that?
Definitely not us. You think we're doing this for 50K? Yeah, fucking right. Talking to the wrong guy. You're used to these bullshit scammers out here. Not us. Now,
That's what everyone says, by the way.
Listen,
Everyone says,
doesn't
not me.
matter. No, I'm not everyone. There was a strategic allocation, right, through a foundation. Every single one of those was signed through a SAFT. The deployer wallet, you've heard of a strategic allocation or a private
How much did y'all get doing a pre-sale? How much did y'all make?
It's not that we
Selling out
made.
your fans. So
Over here,
people
can you give
dump on your
exact?
fans.
Hold on, CoffeeZilla, take a chill pill, brother.
So
Let's
y'all just
speak-
rug pulled a bunch of people. What are
No,
you
there's
talking-
no rug. We're here every single day. There's no rug pulled, and it's not done by us. Yes, snipers sniped it up to an insane market cap.
No, it's
and
not
dumped
just
it.
snipers.
That was not us.
not
That
just
was
that,
listen.
you know that.
Listen, no. I'm telling you the truth.
And y'all made millions on fees from this little scheme.
There's not a. It's
I'm
not,
sure
it's
that's
not
not
a
you getting
scheme.
those fees,
It's
right?
not a
Who's making
scheme.
the money
It's
on
not
the
a-
fees?
it's
Who's
not a
making
scheme.
millions of dollars on fees from this rug pull?
That's not a scheme. That's the
Who's making
project. So we
fees?
can keep this thing going for years. Okay. That's how do you think? There's so many expenses.
Who
right?
makes the money on the fees? Someone just made over $1 million on fees. Who made it?
First of all, the fees were there with Meteora pools, and that goes to, yes, the creator, right?
Which is who?
Who
does that who does that belong to?
That belongs to the project, right?
Who's the project? Who is the project?
Well, the project is over here, Haley Welch, right? And
how much does Haley Welch own?
This is Haley Welch's project.
So she owns all of it.
Coffeezilla.
Did she just make $1 million on fees on a rug?
Do you know how much it costs for lawyer fees to create a foundation in the Cayman Islands, to hire directors? You think this stuff pays for itself? Right?
Y'all wanted to make the money on day one? I don't understand. I'm just asking.
We're here every single day.
Billions of dollars in fees from the rug.
Day 2, day 3. You know, this is how you run a project forever.
Day 4
is you have to fund that. First of all, over here can speak to the extensive amount of work and time and people that are on this project. Over here has around 18 people working on this right now as we speak. This is not a small time type of nothing. We're really trying to do something here, and not just do it for one day and do it for 2 days like you're used to.
So who made the money? You haven't answered the question. Who made the money? How much did Haley Welch make of that 1.8 million?
It's a foundation that is running this project.
How much does she own of it?
It's a foundation. She owns 0 of the foundation.
So y'all made the money?
No, I don't own the foundation either. A foundation in the Cayman Islands.
Who profited? Over $1 million was just made.
I'm telling you, a foundation that pays people out. And by the way, Coffeezilla, I'm not asking you, questions that are irrelevant to the most important stuff that you said. Who cares where fees go? It goes to bills. It goes
when you're
to
charging
attorneys.
15%,
it goes to accounts. It goes to directors.
You're charging
it goes to
15%
staff,
on a rug pool,
right?
and you're profiting from the
There's
rug
no
pool.
rug pool because we didn't pull a rug. I don't know what you're trying to say. It's not true. That's defamation.
Doc,
you're saying,
do the math. Do the math.
Defamation. You're saying that we pulled a rug. There was no rug.
The Dick Spit Foundation. Do the math. Is going to the Dick Spittle Foundation for all the little boys and girls that want to learn how to hock to oh fuck. I didn't mean for it to come out like that. We're raising awareness. No, not like that. It's gonna be for years. They'll be of age by the time they learn. You don't understand it, Coffeezilla. Oh, it's so stupid, dude. Kind of a weird joke to make. Oh my God. I know. No jokes. I know. I'm portraying myself as the guy in this situation. I know that there are no joke leftists out there. Sneeko updates. Wait, what the fuck? When Sneeko ran into a TikToker DM before in Turkey, why is he getting Sneeko updates? Oh, is he talking to Sneeko updates?
You're defaming our character.
Are you not going to let me talk? You just talk over me. You talk over me.
I'm hearing bullshit.
No, you're not. You're talking over me. Let me just lay out your tokenomics. You guys released 3% to the Meteora pool, while you have 17% of the token allocation unlocked day 1 from your strategic allocation. Are you guys insane? What do you guys think exactly is going to happen when your insiders get sent their tokens? And by the way, who made the money from your 17% pre-sale while you're giving a tiny piece of the pie to the public? Like, what the hell? This is the worst tokenomics I've ever seen, and it is a scam.
It's not a scam.
The tokenomics are a scam. That's my opinion. You can say whatever you want about it. You can cry defamation. That's my opinion. It's a scam. And I only do this for a living. I've only seen 1 million of these projects.
So who pays you, Coffeezilla? Let's.
Ooh, turn it around. Turn it around. Turn it around. Nobody's here for me. Everyone's here for you. Where did the fees go? Where did the money for the pre-sale tokens go? Why did y'all unlock day 1 so people could dump on Haley Welch's fans? And how involved was she really?
No.
And how much money?
Don't say Haley Welch's fans. Say Hawk Tua fans. These people wanted to dump on. They wanted to dump Tua. Okay? They wanted to dump Tua on the Hawk Tua. Everything has to be some version of this meme.
Is she making from all this? What's her cut? I just got muted. So yeah, that was the conversation. Obviously, I got a little heated there towards the end because I don't know, there was something about this guy berating people who had lost money and insisting that what was so transparently true about the fees being made, about who's benefiting from the pre-sale, just dodging all of that. It gets me so bothered. I guess it shouldn't at this point, but you know, what can I say? I'm only human. I will go ahead and highlight there were two other moments. FaZe Banks got up and called these guys out, which is funny.
This 100% was a mismanaged, mislaunched. Like this is took what CoffeeZilla.
Wait, is that FaZe Banks? Yo, wait, no. Is Blanks involved? No, not Brother Banks. Oh no, am I gonna be phased up or phased down by the end of this? No, he's dumping on him, right? He's on the right side of this. He would not. He's like a real Hawk Tua guy. Like he's probably a Hawk Tua fan. And he was like, oh, I'm ready to Hawk Tua. Like I got my coins up. I got my phase up.
Zilla said I would label this a scam as well. It's pretty obvious. Like CoffeeZilla.
He's like, I would know.
Brought up 97% of the token was bundled into the same cluster. And in layman's terms, that just basically means 90%. 97% of all the tokens owned were by related wallets, friends of friends of friends of friends. They were
No, that's not true. It's not true.
Yeah, yes, it is true.
False.
Yes, no, it's 100% true.
And then also Nick O'Neill, who is another crypto Twitter guy, he got up there and he asked them basically what I did because they wouldn't let me back up on the space. And he said, where's the money going to? And then Hawk Tua girl, decided it was time for bed. And that was the end of the space.
FaZe Banks hasn't been wrong. He predicted the election. True. Dude, you're right. You're not wrong. You're fucking right, dude. He did. He's so goated.
So I'm sort of curious, like,
I'm still fucking phased up. I'm so phased up, dude.
For the token price itself, but just in terms of the fact that there's fees that are being generated, there's an actual, like,
Hey
source
guys,
of income.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But
What? That's crazy that she sounds like that.
anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. I guess we're talking over here.
Can you imagine being asked questions about a scam, and in the middle of the questioning, you go, "I'm gonna hit the bed," you know? Gotta wake up bright and early for tomorrow. That is just wild. These people are not serious, or at least it doesn't appear that they're taking it very seriously. I think it's concerning when you have a project.
I think she was in on it. That classic bedtime rug pull. She did a bedtime pull. She's in on it. I'll say it. She knew what she was doing.
Which, they can say whatever they want about their 18 employees and all the, hundreds of thousands they supposedly paid to set up these like Cayman Island corps to do it the right way. But at the end of the day, when you make millions of dollars on launch, where does that come from? When your insiders sell $3 million.
God. Oh, guys, a real honk Shua. Wait, she's 31? Wait, the Dick Spittle girl is 31? No. Wasn't she in like fucking college? There's no way. She's like, she's 22. Yeah, I could see her being like 22 max. Why are y'all lying, dude?
Where does that come from? Maybe the normies that you were targeting to get in? That is my problem. That is my issue. And that's why I came at them so hard. And that's basically it, I think.
Yeah, she's 22 years old. She is the 325th most popular person on famous birthdays. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do something that's going to hurt my feelings, I think. Hawktua clears me, dude. Ew, why am I associated with these fuckers? Well, at least I'm the #1 most famous Hasan and the 22nd most famous 33-year-old. And the 18th most famous Twitch star. Who the fuck is born on July 25th is more famous than me? What the fuck is this? Who are these people? What are these lists, man? Okay, maybe this list is a little bit bunk. Why are you doing this to yourself? Not even Zoomers, legit Gen Alpha. Crying, they don't know you, little bro. At least I cleared Matt LeBlanc.
Haley Welsh or Hawk Tua girl, to whatever extent she was involved, is still unclear, or was unclear until her transactional entertainment lawyer contacted me. I'm just editing this live, guys. He contacted me and said he wants to have a offline convo. I said I can't do that. This is a live story. If she wants to comment on the story or shed light on how much she's been paid, kindly respond. I'll put up all these screenshots. They say she was paid in advance from a company to handle the token marketing dev launch of $125,000. That's the only money she's seen to date. If you have any specific questions, happy to answer. I said, what company was she paid by? What's the agreement? Did she see a cut of the pre-sale or fees from the liquidity pool? The best thing for my story is to get a copy of the agreement, of course. Christian replies, she was supposed to get 50% of net proceeds after payments of costs to third parties. Is that the 18 employees or whatever they have? I don't know. I don't know what costs they have, but 50% is a lot. They were supposed to be mutually approved between her and the company. All decisions regarding to allocation were supposed to be mutually approved. Those decisions haven't been made at this point. The goal would be to salvage the token for the holders and her true fans and do right by the community. That's not going to happen. I can't provide the actual contract, as you can imagine, but I'm happy to continue to be responsive. Your spaces and comments have been helpful, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate what you... Okay, we all know. They always say that, by the way. This guy does not appreciate what I do, I don't think. You know, an entertainment lawyer appreciating somebody talking about somebody, I don't think that's true. Look, the big deal, what he said, is 50% net proceeds. That's a lot, actually. Now, again, 18 employees working on the Hawk 2.
It's not a lot. You don't understand. There's a lot of employees. It takes a lot to fucking scam people, dude. She can't get $1 by the end of it. Okay? She got nothing left.
A coin, I don't know how much they're going to end up seeing at the end of the day, but it's going to be real money.
125K for spitting on penis. She's at the end of it. Okay? She got nothing left.
A coin, I don't know how much they're going to end up seeing at the end of the day, but it's going to be real money.
125K for spitting on penis. She's made so much more than just 125K. 125K for dick spittle rug pull coin. That's the
question about salvage the coin, want to salvage the coin. Guys, the problem is you've sold millions of dollars of pre-sale tokens and they're still out there. There's still people with these coins who are waiting to sell. So the second you go and salvage it for the fans, you're kind of dooming them again. So the best situation is just people... I don't really know. I don't like to give advice in situations like this. You know, it's like asking someone how to clean up a car crash. It's like, well, ideally, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. So, can't give too much advice there. The situation's horrible as it is. I appreciate them actually responding, though. But she is actually making a lot of money off of this. And I do actually think that's a problem. So, I don't know. I think this whole situation is terrible. And... she should feel bad. I hope she does, really, because she got in bed with these people who clearly saw dollar signs. She saw dollar signs, and they did this in...
Hawk to a situation is crazy. God, that fucking format, dude. I mean, I like Moist, but god damn, I hate that fucking format. I'm on my hater arc, dude. I've decided that's what's going on right now. I spit it on that thing, you know? What's the Joey here? I'm tired, man. I'm fucking tired. I did 5 hours after a whole day after the Oxford Union. I got to wake up early, get on a fucking flight. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and stream, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be really late if I do. So I'm most likely not going to be able to stream. But I will, if I can't stream tomorrow. If I do stream tomorrow, it's going to be a special one. Most likely a collab. I haven't been able to figure out exactly who I'll be doing that with. But it'll be in the afternoon. It'll be late into the night, like around this time, if I do end up streaming. And before the awards, I'll do a short stream before the awards as well, on Saturday. So yeah, no Oi Bro IRL stream. I did one in Cambridge, lad. I did one in fucking Cambridge, lad. Also, chat. What do you mean Oi Bro IRL stream? It's 1:30 out here. Ain't nothing going on at 1:30. You think I'm trying to get shanked? You think I'm trying to get fucking shanked? Yeah. Anyway, love you guys. Love the Hawk to a coin. This has been a relatively productive Londonistan trip, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see the Oxford Union stuff come out as well. The Cambridge Union video is now available on my YouTube. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Anyway, peace, everybody. Love you all. Bye-bye.
California, says Hassan. The starlock to the starlock to the topic just begun. There he is again. Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. There he is again. Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. Reviewing the P.O. box. Uncle Uger's face. Sat in Discord at chip prop. Great names take on break. Tiny Bernie Sanders, LGBTQ Air Force. The whole left at your fingertips. Ane at your door. H3 crowded debate. The Young Turks online show. 3 full fucking years of this. Plenty more to go. 90-day fiance talks of champagne bourgeoisie. A Trump rally live reaction. A mass riot at DC. There he is again. Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. There he is again. Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. Reading live stream fail comments. Austin show chat advice. And all the ways the right-wing pipeline can suck you in online. JCS react, Lord frame gets broken, cover blown. A full-blown mass pandemic, monster streaming at your home. Total radicalization coming out to find. The system you were taught to trust in was broken the whole time. All these daily streams, whether big or whether small, have helped me and so many find the meaning through it all. There he is again. Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming.